Good Saturday to everybody. I just want to try.
You almost said good
I
morning.
almost did, yeah, I almost did. So
Ah, that's funny.
well, I mean, it's almost
Well, it's force a habit at this point.
yeah, it really.
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you might be.
Right.
This is the Lamb of. This is Lamb. I was looking at my. This is the Metalheads Unite podcast.
It's the Lamb of God podcast.
I was looking. I was looking at my theme of the week list. So
It's the Lamb.
I just spoiled one of my songs. But
There you go. Oh well.
I was literally looking right at it. And
That's actually pretty funny. Oh man. So I don't know if you guys got a chance or not, but we did interview a band called Detonate last week. Learned a
Yep.
lot about those guys. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, we did. It was cool having all four of the guys on there.
It was.
It's
Yeah.
always nice because, like you said, it's one thing to have a member of the band on here who can tell us what's all going on, but then when you can have multiple members, even if it's not the whole band, like if we get two, maybe three, or whatever, everyone can tell their own story of like how they joined the band and who their influences are, or how they
Right.
go about recording their parts or whatever. Having one member of the band on is great, of course, but they may not know everything about everyone, and could be completely, that's completely understandable because you got multiple personalities and all that stuff in there. So I mean, it's hard for one person to know the ins and outs of everything going on. So you get that extra perspective the more members of the band you have on. So it's always nice. So
Yeah. So not to spoil anything, but we do have another guest next week. So
we do.
we got some preparations to do for that one because
Yep.
it was kind of birthed from an email. So
Yeah.
it actually was a band I've never heard of. So gotta
All the better.
yeah right yeah which
All the
is which is kind of what we do. So
Yep.
so
It's yeah. So I would say it's totally on brand for us to have
right yeah
have an interview with a band we've never heard of until just a couple days ago. So it totally works. But
yep. So good stuff.
yeah.
And I haven't sent you the snippet yet, but the Barrel interview is on Spotify now. So if anybody wants to
All right.
check that out, so I don't know what's been going on with my uploads and downloads. I got to go through and see if it's because I got too much on this computer, maybe.
That could be. Of course, it could just be Spotify. You never know with them.
Well, so I think so. I mean, we've been getting emails from a Riverside, I guess that's what it's called, and they actually are like promoting doing stuff with Spotify. So I'm kind of wondering if Spotify's kind of got something contracted with them, so they're kind of like not allowing other like platforms to, you know what I mean. Like they're trying to,
Oh yeah.
they're trying
Yeah.
to they're pretty much trying to discourage you to go that route, I think.
Well,
But I'm not doing that, so I'll figure something else out. But
yeah.
yeah, I've tried everything. I even cut my VPN on one day just to see if it would help, would help, but
Way down.
it didn't do anything. So
I wouldn't put anything past Spotify. And I enjoy the app. I do. I'm not trying to just dog Spotify, but I mean we know what their financial payouts and everything is. I mean, but we've talked about it before. It's you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. I mean, if you have content on there, don't expect to see any money. But if you don't have content on there, good luck on people hearing it. So I mean, it's just necessary evil, kind of, really.
well, and we spend so. I want to kind of clear this too. We spend a lot of time saying Spotify, but I mean it's like all the apps.
Yeah,
Pandora,
it's not. Yeah,
all those need to step up. And
yeah. Spotify is just the one that we use. So I mean, we know
Well, yeah.
there's Pandora, there's iHeartRadio. So I mean, and pan, Spotify, like I say, it's not just isolated to them. It's just the one that we use. That's why we just keep talking about them. So Well, the funny thing is I remember that I was pretty sure there was one show where we did where you pulled up the payouts of all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I seem to remember you talking
that's
about
what
that.
I
And
couldn't remember the name of the one that paid the best because
yeah,
it's not one that it's actually one that I started I signed up for and stuff and started using a little bit. Excuse me. Once I found out about it, because I'd rather them get paid, you know, the most out of the
hmm
deal.
yeah, but I mean,
They don't get as much like I guess they don't get as much people using it as far as musician wise as
yeah.
Spotify does. But I did find an album on there, which is one of the reasons why I did it. I found an album on there that's not on Spotify, but it was there.
Oh,
So
okay,
maybe it's just one of those bands that are like, well, hell, I'm going to get the most out of what I'm doing. So
right,
you know,
yeah. But none. I mean, none of the payouts that were on that list were great. But I mean,
no, they were
Spotify is dealing in fractions of a cent, which is just ridiculous.
Tidal. That's the name of it. Tidal.
Oh yeah, yeah,
They actually do
yeah.
0.15 cents a stream. So it's almost double what Apple and all them do, which is crazy.
Which is just nuts.
Yeah. Which is crazy because you think this is an app we haven't heard of,
Hmm.
until recently, which it's probably been around for a while. We just hadn't heard of it.
Right.
But the thing is um, they're able to do that, and these people, and these apps that we know are
Yeah.
out there don't. I don't
Yeah.
understand that. Like, of course, Bandcamp's the best way to go. Period, because that's where they get they get 80 to 90% of that.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we can't know, go through. Everybody doesn't go through Bandcamp either. So
Yeah.
we kind of. Unfortunately for us, we have to have all all of it. So it's just to
Yeah.
make sure we can get everything in. Which there's albums on here now. I got question marks on because it wasn't on Spotify. So I'm not
Right.
sure if it got released or if it just Spotify just didn't carry it or what happened. Because I mean, some artists are boycotting Spotify and not putting stuff on there. So
Yes, they are.
so
And the bands that do that, I
I
don't
don't
blame
blame
them.
them.
I
I
don't
don't blame
blame
them.
them.
Yeah,
Because I mean, what is it? 7/1000ths of a cent per
yeah,
stream is
it's
so
point zero zero seven.
yeah. 7/1000ths of a cent is ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
You know, he's like, Then I think one of the articles I read where the guy that owns Spotify was talking about, well, so much happened. I had to hire a team. I'm like, okay, well, you know, that's fine that you had to do that, and you're getting so much that you have to do that, but
Well, yeah,
you still need to focus on the artist. It's like,
right. I mean, having to build a team is a sign of growth. That's a positive sign
right,
for your
exactly.
business. That's fine. No one's giving you any shit about having to hire a team. Shit, it would be nice if we could, it would be nice if we could have, a person to kind of go through our
Oh
emails.
God,
It'd be nice
we
to have somebody to help us. But I mean,
wouldn't it though? I
just
mean, yeah, it'd be awesome to have a.
just
If we could hire a third of, or if we had a third or fourth person even volunteer, that would be even.
yeah. So I mean, it would be nice.
Because
But
we're not like I said, we've made this abundantly clear, we're not making any money on this deal.
no,
We're doing this for the love of heavy metal,
that's it.
and we've always said if it turns into something,
That
then
it would just be a bonus because
yeah,
that's
exactly,
not that wasn't what we set out to do here.
yeah,
So
exactly. We were pretty much you know doing this for awareness of smaller bands
that's what it is.
that don't get the they don't get the airplay and
Hmm.
the recognition that they deserve, or we think they deserve. So
Right. Yeah, the eyes and the ears. Yep, absolutely.
exactly. And there's a lot of great bands out there, man. And
There are so many. Oh my God,
yeah,
so many.
yeah. It's like I don't. I guess like maybe we just weren't in like this position like back in the '80s and '90s to realize like was there always this much content out there that we just didn't know about, or if it was or if it wasn't as saturated as it is now. Maybe I don't know. Of course, population makes a big difference too.
Well,
Like,
yeah, that's true.
probably,
So it may I don't think back in the 80s and 90s it was there was as much content available. Because I think not here in the United States, but I think over in Europe, they were a little slower to kind of take up the culture,
Okay.
which I mean seems a little odd because I mean most of the all time heavy metal bands came from the UK,
Yeah.
Maiden, Priest,
Yep.
you know, Sabbath. So it's kind of strange that with the influence that the United Kingdom had on heavy metal, that mainland Europe would have taken so long to kind of catch up. But I think that's actually what happened to us. Not to say that there weren't heavy metal bands over there back in the 80s. Of course there were. But I don't think I definitely don't think heavy metal was as worldwide a genre as it's morphed into in the
Oh
80s.
no, no.
No. No.
There's actually some stories that I'm going to get into later that's going to
Yeah.
just
So,
put more emphasis on how much metal plays
yeah.
on other things.
Yeah. But
It's pretty wild, but
but it has absolutely evolved into a worldwide music genre at this point. And we've seen that here on the show, and
oh
even
yeah,
and even having said that, we've still only like chipped off the
oh yeah,
tip of the
scratch the
iceberg.
surface. Yeah,
Yeah, just the tip of the iceberg.
yeah. I think something you just said kind of puts things in perspective too. You know, we think about 80s and 90s, and you're talking about Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and all those names that we know from that era. Just think of like what we didn't know
Yeah,
from that era, that kind of like what we're doing
yeah,
now,
yeah. Onslaught.
because I mean we know, you know, from doing this, that there's bands from Europe that never get recognition over here.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
it's
we hadn't heard of Onslaught until 5 years ago.
yeah, which is crazy to me.
And
How we
then
even missed that, but
yeah, you've got Rage and Destruction. Hell, Rage is creeping up on 30 albums.
yeah,
Loudness over in Japan has more than 30 albums.
yeah. Which I
I
knew who
mean,
Loudness was back then, but
yeah, I mean, we did.
right, you know, Loudness, XYZ, those type
Yeah,
bands.
so I mean, we
We knew all
did,
those
but
from the 80s and 90s, but that's what I'm saying though. Is like
yeah,
all bands, you know, it's almost like they picked a band or two from each country just to represent on MTV or something.
kind of.
It was like they were DEI before DEI was cool, you know.
Well, it's well, I don't think DEI is that cool of a thing, but
Well, I know,
I get what you're saying.
I'm just making
I
jokes.
get what you're saying.
I'm just here for the laugh factor.
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing. So,
Yeah.
but it is
Same.
it is crazy. I like sometimes, you know, I think the thing about this show over the years that has really surprised me is the stuff that I retain from like the articles or whatever it may be, because
Yeah.
I was in a thingy, I guess it was a Facebook thread or something the other night, and they were talking about, you know, blah 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 blah, and I was just like, oh yeah, well, don't forget, they were talking about Light the Torch actually.
Oh, okay.
They were talking about Howard Jones. It's like, you know, he's one of the best singers out there. I said, oh, absolutely. And somebody's like, well, I love the Killswitch stuff. Is there anything else that he's on? Of course, people were like, Light the Torch, Light the Torch, Light the Torch. And then they was like, oh, well, he does, you know, he did the Scion theme with Jared Dines and blah, blah, blah. I said, wait,
Hmm.
don't forget, they also did two albums as Devil You Know before they became Light the Torch. And then I was surprised how so many people was like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, what, really?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't know that? I'm like, okay, cool. So I was like, you know,
Yeah.
made me kind of feel like a professor of metal at this point, I guess.
Right.
I was like, I'm out
Yeah.
here teaching these kids
I
something.
get it.
But
That's
it's
right.
just,
That's
it's just
right.
the things like I wouldn't have knew that without, you know, going through and doing the research about stuff like that. Especially with,
Yeah.
I think actually that's one of the things that one of the first things that we did first couple of years was we went through and did like our top, you know, 10 singers or 5 singers or whatever it was, and then
Yeah.
we kind of did like a little story on, you know, their you know, start to what they're at, where they're at now, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think that's probably what it was, almost like a book report, I guess. But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
no.
Well, that's the thing is, I mean, that example is like a deep cut,
Right,
because I'm sure that it's not 100% common knowledge that Black Sabbath was actually called Earth before they changed the name.
right, right.
So I mean, I'm sure a lot more people know that than know about, the Devil You Know and the Light to Torch thing. But at the same time, I still don't think it's one of those common knowledge things that everyone would know right off the top of the, right off the top of their brains.
Well, the
Just
same
like a
with
lot of like,
Lamb of God. They were called burn the priest.
yep,
So
yep, yep. And I'm sure and hell, I'll even make a confession that I didn't know for the I didn't know for the longest time that there were singers that were in Iron Maiden before Bruce Dickinson. Now,
right,
don't get me wrong, I've known it for a long time,
right,
but
exactly.
it took me a minute before I found that. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know that. Obviously since then I've known it for quite a while, but there's always these little wrinkles that unless you really pay attention or do a little bit of reading, you may not know.
Right. Well, I know it's like so. I guess like I was also seeing stuff that kind of just deterred me. Was talking about I guess John Schaefer was out talking about writing new music and stuff, which I think is great. Not, personal stuff aside. I mean,
Yeah,
Iced Earth is a good band. I mean,
yeah.
you know,
I've always enjoyed Iced Earth.
whether it's Iced Earth or whatever he winds up doing project wise. I mean,
Yeah,
hell, he may be a smart ass and come out with a new band called J6. Who knows?
maybe.
But I'm just saying, like the people, the amount of people that I got to hate and throwing shade just because he's trying to do things better, and we all make mistakes. We all learn from those mistakes. We all
Yeah,
should be given a second chance to carry on. But for people to give him shit about all this, I mean, I don't get that. And then I had some people talk about the actually it was one of the Iced Earth albums Tim Ripper was on, and I was and I happened to comment on it. I said, so you're gonna shit on that because of John Schaefer with one of the best vocalists, you know, my top 10 for sure, that's out here,
right.
and you're going to shit on him just because John Schaefer was a guitarist. I don't make no sense to me. And we've talked about this before. We don't agree with a lot of political views of bands, but I like the bands. I don't care about their political views. That's not what I'm going to see. I don't go to see a band because of their political view.
Yeah,
I'm going.
separating the art from the artist.
Yeah, yeah. Which like I said, that's great. That's like Rob Flynn. I've never been to a Machine Head show where he does any of that stuff on stage.
Not once.
And he's
Nope.
smart because he's smart to not do that because he would probably cost him fans. And like we know how he feels most of the time about
Yep.
stuff. And like I said, I'm not going to say 100% liberal because I don't think he is 100% liberal.
No, I don't
You
think he
know,
is either.
and I think we all kind of have things where one side or the other says something and we're like, man, okay, yeah, I could see that. Where that could be
Yeah.
something that we need to work on.
Well,
But
that's an open-minded point of view, and
it is.
I think more people need to be that way because, there are people on both sides of the aisle, and this could get off track real quick, so we'll make sure that doesn't happen.
Right, we're real
But
negative.
but yeah, there are people on both sides of the aisle that if they would just be a little bit more open-minded, things would be a lot better.
Well, this is the
You're
thing.
just so entrenched way over here or way over
No,
here,
no.
and the fringes on both of the it's just bad on both sides. So
Well, when you say
a
that,
little bit more. You
in
need
a
a
way,
little bit more open
in a
mind.
way, I always looked at it was, everybody's like right or left. I said, yeah, but we're stuck in the middle, and that's where they're not putting any effort. They're not putting any effort on us because we're stuck in the middle.
Yep.
They're worried about what the other side. It's almost like a kindergarten fight at this point, where no, you're not passing that, or no, you're not doing. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, why does it matter? Read the fucking bill, and if it's good for the American people, pass the son of a bitch. Who cares who come up with it? Like,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, I don't get it. Like,
Just
and
to,
then for like and all presidents do it, and I don't care for it, but they just go through and just start backing out of like every deal the president before made, and I'm just like, dude, some of that stuff could have been good. Like, why are you like,
yeah.
just doing it because that's who was president? That don't make no sense to me.
Right. Just becomes a big dick measuring contest.
Well, I mean, if you go back and the Constitution, read the Constitution, it's right there where people like George Washington, John Adams, and all them knew that this kind of thing was going to happen, where people would get too much power and go to their head. That's why they wrote the Constitution, so that didn't happen. It was, it's we the people for a reason. We the people control this shit. Like we gotta learn to take control of it, man. Like whether it be at the voting polls or whatever we need to do, protest, whatever you got to do. But like I said, I'm not against a protest as long as it's peaceful. But
Right. Yeah.
I don't uh, I don't agree with a lot of them. 'Cause I think it's a waste of time because some of it's just plumb stupid.
Well, absolutely.
But uh, but yeah. But anyway,
100%.
to reel back into
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that could have,
yeah
so,
before.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is I think we have to be mindful of where we're getting our sources from too. I think
True.
that's the big
Yep.
thing. If I see something on Facebook, I'm 99% sure it's probably bullshit.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
You know, so and I usually try to get news sources from other countries because I feel like they don't have a dog in the fight sometimes.
They're more worried about the actual who, what, when, where, and
Exactly.
why. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I've seen some of them that are great too, and be like, okay, you could do that, but this is what's going to happen, and then like they're telling you what's going to happen. I'm just like, oh wow, I mean that's exactly what could happen.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just be mindful. That's all I say. So,
Yeah.
you know, I even see going kind of reel it back in a little bit. I even see those kind of things in Loudwire and you know Metal
Yep.
Sucks and all that where they tried to opinionate a lot of their articles, which I don't care for. I don't. I'm not. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't go to your site to hear opinions on. Or I want to hear what the person said. You know what I mean, or what the
Yeah.
person did.
Yeah. I
Somebody
mean,
if somebody gets arrested, I want to hear from the police report. I don't want to hear your opinion on what happened.
yeah. Yeah. You are, yeah, because you are still, I mean, granted it's a hard rock and heavy metal website, but you are still a news outlet.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
Do the news.
yeah.
Just do the damn news.
I mean, and that's where we get some of our stuff from. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like we have to be mindful of what we're pulling from there. So
Yeah.
a lot of times, just like when we're going into stuff today, a lot of the stuff's going to be shortened because it goes into some run-on bullshit that we don't need to know.
Yeah.
Oh well, what happened in 1974? Well, we don't care what happened in 1974. That was a long time ago.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I like one of the ones I did, I was laughing because I went through all of it, and then I got to the bottom, and it was like, this all started when this band got together in 1966. I'm just like, why in the hell does that matter in this story? Like, it's a,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I think it's almost like, hey, you got to have 1,000-word essay. Just start writing shit in once you get to where the point where you can't have nothing else. Just you're just filling it in.
Right.
But it's pretty crazy. But anyway,
It is. It is.
back to the regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah.
Sorry, we do get to, and it's really sad that that I think it's really sad that politics plays as big a role as it does now in everything. Um,
Yeah.
back when I say this all the time. Back when I grew up, I don't remember caring about any of this bullshit because it was just meaningless to a kid, I guess. But even as I started getting into adulthood, I'm just like, man, this is just not nothing now is like it was then, or it's never going to be because we've got too many lawyers have ruined the country. That's what's
Oh, God,
happened.
yeah. Who are you telling?
And that's what I said. Like I could sue you, and your lawyer could defend. Have 1,000 ways to defend you, and my lawyer could have 1,000 ways to prosecute you, and then we wind up with nothing. Because there's no, there's an argument for every argument.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like there's no clear winner in a lot of this stuff. So
Yep.
we all lose in the end. So
Hmm.
it's called life, and we all lose. We all lose
Hmm.
at some point. uh, you know. All right.
100%.
So I guess to reel this back in, I guess we need to kick us off with some birthdays for over the last. I just went over the last week. I'm sure that's kind of what you did with y'all
That
your
is.
stuff too.
Yep.
So,
That's what I did.
I mean, if we went 3 weeks back, we'd be in trouble probably, but
Yeah, we would.
it'd be a 4-hour show or something. But
Yep.
so I just went back.
We'd both be getting knocks at the door.
Oh yeah, for sure. Text messages going, how long are you going to be? was like, damn, you say that every time I'm in here. I'm in the bed. Like, golly. Like, uh, yeah. Anyway, this was from April 18th up until today. I always include today, but I know that I'll probably have to wind up going and including others from
Oh yeah.
today because some bands and stuff we follow is not necessarily on that site that I get stuff from. So.
Yep.
So April 18th, we had Kelly Hansen, vocalist for Hurricane, is what he's most noted for. But he did do some stuff with Foreigner there at the end of the. And I think he finally retired. Actually, I think so. Um, we had J.C. Fincher Jr., bassist for South Gang, Mark Tremonti, guitarist for Creed, Tremonti, and Alter Bridge. So definitely a well-renowned guitarist, I believe. So April 19th, we had Tony Martin, vocalist for Black Sabbath from 87 to 91, and then again from 93 to 97. We had Rude, I guess I'm pronouncing that right, Rude Yoli, guitarist for Within Temptation. I can't remember where they're from, so I'm trying to remember what the J sounds like. But so it ain't crazy how you have to say, okay, well, if it's Swedish or something, it's wide. If it's Spanish, it's
It's it's like an H. Yeah.
so you're kind of like, okay, of course I know Within Temptation is not from, Mexico or nothing. So,
No.
but so that's
Well,
why
it probably
it probably
is.
is Yoli. Yeah.
Probably is what. Yeah.
Yeah. So April 20th, we had Cal Swan, singer songwriter for Bad Moon Rising. Of course, then we had Mike Portnoy, drummer for Dream Theater, among other projects over his career. Um, but he is back with them, so we'll just say
Hmm.
Dream Theater. April 21st, we had Iggy Pop, and yes, before you say anything, I know he's not metal, but he is punk, and that's kind of like led into a lot of metal.
Influential. Yep.
Then we had Jury Only, bassist for the Misfits. Again, the Misfits is one of the probably most known punk band, I would think.
Up there with the Ramones, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah, absolutely. Then here's another one I'm probably going to mess up on. Yuka Nevalainen, drummer for Nightwish, 1997 to 2014. Hopefully, I didn't butcher it too bad. Christian CC Coma, drummer for Black Veil Brides. Then April 22nd. I think this week just hates me with all these names, but, and like I should know how to pronounce this one by now, but I still have issues sometimes. But Shavo Odajan, bassist for System Up Down. Hopefully, I did that right.
I think you got pretty close. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, close enough. People know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think so.
Aaron Fink, guitarist for Breaking Benjamin from 2002 to 2011. We had David Vincent, guitarist for, used to be a guitarist for Morbid Angel and then Terrorizer. Jeff Mantis Dunn, guitarist for Venom. April 23rd, we had Steve Clark, guitarist for Def Leppard, who unfortunately passed away in 1991. We had Brent Muscat, guitarist for Faster Pussycat. And then Matt Freeman, bassist and singer for Rancid, which is another punk band that's probably up there with Misfits and them. So,
Yep.
and then we get to the Day of the Bassist. So we had Jack Blades, the bassist for Damn Yankees, which I also think he was in Night Ranger. I do believe. I'm pretty
Mm,
sure. I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
Then we have Billy Gold, bassist for Faith No More. We had Joey Vera, bassist for Armored Saint. And then we have Brian Marshall, bassist for Creed and Alter Bridge. We had Kellen Quinn, singer and keyboardist for Sleeping with Sirens. And then Eric Wagner, vocalist for Trouble, unfortunately passed away in 2021. And then today, they only have two for today so far. So we had Ben Johnston, drummer for Biffy Clyro, and then Nick Barker, drummer for Dimmu Borgir and Cradle of Filth. Uh, so,
Gotcha. Yeah.
so today may be a day of the drummers by the end of the
It
day.
might be. Yeah. It could be.
Uh, so I don't know if I missed anything there. Hopefully, I got it
Well,
all.
I don't think so. And I know I mentioned this on last week's show before we went off the air, but I'll mention it again. But my stepson Seth, his birthday was on the 19th,
Yep.
and want to wish a happy anniversary to my wife. 23 years ago today, we actually started dating again. So it's not our wedding anniversary until
Right, right,
September.
right.
But you know,
You better remember all those though. I'm telling
well,
you.
that's the funny thing is I do remember them, and it's funny because I haven't said anything about it yet, and I don't know. Hopefully, she didn't hear me, but I'm gonna see if later on today she remembers what day it is. So
Ah,
she's got the wedding anniversary down pretty well at this point. But
play the reverse card on
yeah, hit her with a reverse Uno card. So we'll see if she remembers.
me. Hey, that's hey, if they don't, that's a get sex free whenever card. If they don't remember, man, it's like
Yeah, it's a good bullet to have in the chamber. So
it is. Yeah. Well, I don't feel like it. But what about the time you forgot our anniversary? Oh, okay.
yeah, so yeah, 23 years. So
Nice.
yep.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm there with you. Well, I'm a little bit further than you are, but
Yeah, you are.
I'm also a little bit older than you are. So,
Yep.
uh, so all right. I guess we better get into some news here.
Yeah, getting into the news of the week, and as usual, not the way we want to start off,
Right.
but we haven't the on the plus side, we haven't had to report on something like this in probably about a month, which is
Oh,
nice.
okay. Yeah, that is a pretty good streak, I guess. So,
Yeah, which is nice. But it was inevitable. It was going to happen again. So here we are. Over at blabbermouth.net, Traffic co founder Dave Mason has died at the age of 79. The legendary musician's passing was confirmed in an official statement posted on his social media. The statement reads, quote, "It is with deep and profound sadness that we share the news of the passing of Dave Mason. On Sunday, April 19th, after cooking an amazing dinner with his wife Winifred, he sat down to take a nap with his beloved Star, his Maltese, at his feet. He passed away peacefully in his favorite chair, surrounded by the beautiful Carson Valley that he loved so much. A storybook ending on his own terms, which is how he lived his life right up until the end. He leaves a lasting imprint on the soundtrack of our lives and the hearts he has lifted. His legacy will be cherished forever." End quote. Last September, Mason officially announced his retirement from touring, closing the curtain on 60 remarkable years of rock and roll and marking the end of a significant era in music history. He cited health challenges as the reason behind this difficult decision. Mason canceled all of his tour dates in June 2025 because of health issues. Prior to that, he was forced to postpone dates in September 2024 when doctors detected a serious heart condition during a routine appointment that required immediate medical attention. He had planned to make up the dates earlier this year before eventually scrapping them. At the time of the tour cancellation in June of 2025, Mason was recovering from a quote-unquote severe infection that he had contracted 3 months earlier. Quote, "With deep regret, I must cancel all tour dates for 2025 due to ongoing health issues stemming from the infection I had in March," he wrote in a statement 10 months ago. "I'm incredibly grateful to my doctors. This has been challenging territory to say the least. A heartfelt thank you to all the fans and to my family, band, agents, and the venues who've waited patiently and supported me through this journey. Your kind messages have lifted my spirits more than words can express. Recovery is a long road. My love for you all runs deep." End quote. Man, when you've got a career that spans 60 years,
Yeah.
I
That's,
don't I don't
that's
care.
impressive.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't care who you are. Like you say, that's impressive, and there's no telling what kind of influence you could have had. So this is another one of those instances you were talking about. Some of the punk bands going through the birthdays.
Mhm.
Traffic wasn't one of those bands you could ever consider a heavy metal band,
Right.
but I mean, you're talking about back into the '60s at this point.
Yeah.
They had influence along the way somewhere.
Oh
There's
yeah.
no way they didn't.
For
So,
for sure.
you can never be sure of where an influence is going to come from. So, I mean, at that point, you have to at least make sure you recognize this person.
Hmm.
You have to, because I mean, without this person making music for 60 years, for Christ's sake,
Crazy.
a 6-decade career, there's no telling who we wouldn't have gotten had he not been around.
Hmm.
So I mean,
Yep.
it's one of those things where you have to at least recognize, like you say, the legacy. You have to at least acknowledge the legacy, because that legacy offshoots into some other project somewhere along the way. There's no way
Oh,
that it doesn't.
oh yeah, for sure. Hey, good morning, Dana.
Morning, Dana.
Yeah. Want to make sure we recognize him. Being, sometimes I get lost in stuff and like, man, these things people probably think we're assholes because we didn't see anything.
Yeah.
All right, this one is a little lengthy. I apologize in advance
All right.
from over at Metal Hammer, but this has been kind of ongoing for a while, and we've finally gotten a resolution, it sounds like. Some the legal battle between Sharon Osbourne and Black Sabbath's original manager over the band's earliest recordings has been resolved, meaning their previously unreleased demos could eventually see the light of day. Osbourne threatened Jim Simpson, who managed the band during the early years of their career, with legal action after he announced that he would be releasing early band recorded. Oh, hold on. Did my thing just go over? Oh, early demos the band recorded in 1969 when they were still called Earth. Let me see if I can do this real quick because I can't keep doing that back and forth. Hold on. All right, there we go. Maybe. No. Sorry, I just kind of my story's going off the page here, so trying to reel it back in. There we
Yeah,
go. There we go.
I hate when that happens. God, I hate
Yeah,
when that
I just made it bigger than it should have been. So anyway, so anyway,
yeah.
that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. It goes back to when they were, still called Earth. That maybe not everybody knows,
Mm-hmm.
but there we go. However, she has revealed that the matter has been resolved with the original members of Sabbath, including her late husband, gaining ownership of the demos. Simpson, who began managing the future metal icons before they changed their name to Black Sabbath, announced that he planned to release a set of songs the band had recorded in their hometown in Birmingham in 1969. Simpson announced the album titled Earth, The Legendary Lost Tapes in June of 2025, just days before Sabbath were due to play what would be their last ever show at the Village Park in Birmingham, in less than a month before Ozzy had died. So he said that he planned to release the album in July via his own Big Bear music label. At the time, Simpson said of the album, quote, "These recordings clearly demonstrate what fine music they produced right from the very beginning. We recorded these tracks at Zella Studio in Birmingham in 1969, but held back from releasing them as their style was evolving so quickly. Now, some 57 years later, the recordings assume a greater importance, illustrating how these four young men from Birmingham, barely out of their teens, were excellent musicians and a fine band, fully deserving of all the success that was to come their way." End quote. According to Simpson, Earth, the legendary Lost Tapes was due to feature 8 songs, including the unreleased Evening, Wee Wee Baby, Free Man, and Song for Jim, as well as a cover of Blue Suede Shoes and future Black Sabbath songs Warning and Wicked World. However, the album never materialized as promised in July and November of 2025. Sharon Osbourne revealed that she had contacted Simpson to inform him that the band members did not want the tapes released, adding that she would take legal action to block Simpson's planned album. She added, quote, "You know that as a band, Black Sabbath don't take things lying down, and you can be assured that if you go ahead with this against the band's wishes, we will take any action necessary that we can where their rights are infringed, both here in the UK and in America," end quote. Now, Osbourne has given an update on the situation during an appearance on the latest episode of the Osbournes podcast with her son Jack. She said, quote, "We settled with Jim Simpson and the band now have their demos back, and all 4 of them, the original Black Sabbath members, own it, which is where it should be. All of that stuff should be theirs, so it all ended well," end quote. She also addressed whether the songs would eventually be released, saying, "We're going to talk about what everybody wants to do with it, and we'll go from there." She continued, "I just think it's historically important for music lovers of that genre, and then we got the rights to the pictures that were taken at the time too, so that is all so important. And I'm just happy that it's where it should be with the band and what they want to do as a band and what they're going to do with it. So that's great." So there we go. So finally, after so many years of which I kind of get that. I guess the manager can't really go out and especially a former manager, just
Right.
go out and say, "Hey, I'm going to release this," and fuck you. Like, no, man, that's our shit. We wrote it, so we'll to release it when we want to.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. So
And I mean, don't get me wrong. I know Sharon's gotten a lot of shit over the years, but I mean that dude should have known that she wasn't gonna fucking be okay with him doing that. He should have known better that wasn't gonna fly.
right,
Should have honestly he should have worked together. He should have worked with her together
Yep.
on it.
Exactly. I mean,
That's what should have happened. That's what should have happened. All right, going over to the PRP for my next few. This was something I think I'd have to look back. I think we may have talked about this when it first happened, but guitarist Reese Maslin has returned to Bill Murray after previously stepping down in December of 2025. Maslin originally vacated his position in the band in response to disturbing allegations made against him by a former romantic partner. At the time, Maslin stated, quote, "I exhibited behavior on several fronts during a previous relationship that I deeply regret. I am so sorry not only to her but to anyone else these behaviors have affected. At this point, I can only apologize and take the steps to be a better person for myself and everyone else in my life. Effective immediately, I'm stepping down from Bill Murray. I loved every second of my time with them, but it's important that I take this time to work on myself," end quote. Last week, Maslin announced he was reuniting with the band, issuing the following statement ahead of the band's April 17th show at the Fillmore Auditorium in Denver. Quote, "Since stepping down from Bill Murray last December, I've been doing the work to be better for myself and everyone around me. I assumed I would not be asked to rejoin the band, so I acted and spoke publicly as such. On Sunday, as I was laying in bed when I got a call from Johnny, I'm coming back for the Kinda Hard tour. See you tonight in Denver," end quote. So, I mean, it's weird, It's one of those, it's like that Ferris Bueller thing. Life comes at you fast,
yeah.
But I'll be honest, I've never listened to this band, but it's always weird because every time I see something talking about them or I read something about them, it's everything with it. It's everything I have in me to not call him Bill Murray. But
Well, that is true. Yeah, yeah.
so it's just kind of a funny thing.
Well,
aside.
maybe that's kind of what they did it off of. Who knows?
I mean, maybe, but
I mean, we had detonate, and it was definitely not spelled like we would normally spell it. So
yeah.
you never know.
Yeah, but hopefully, even though he I'll give him credit that he took it upon himself to acknowledge past behavioral mistakes and decided to take a step away from the band to address them.
Right.
And fast forward to only 5 months. So I mean, hopefully whatever changes he set out to make, he's made, and whatever happened between him and the former significant other, hopefully it's kind of water under the bridge and things have moved. They've both moved past it. And I guess maybe the members of the band saw the change that he set out to make, and I guess it's like, hey, you know what, man, do you want to come back? And he's, here we are. So I guess we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, hopefully they got everything squared away and get back on track with everything. So. All right, this is going to be the first of a couple of crossover stories here from from sorry, I'm reading the messages while I'm trying to do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be a couple of stories from crossover stuff that personally that kind of hit home with me a little bit because it's wrestling and metal. So
yep. I saw those this week. I was like, I'm just going to let those.
Yeah. So it was so it's kind of like ironic that I talk about those things, but they've always played kind of a part in each other's culture, I think. So, all the way back to, they had the rock and wrestling days back in the, 80s with Hulk Hogan and all them. So, so it's been a big thing for a long time. Of course, with Triple H being in the Metalheads, that always kind of, helps with things too. So,
yeah.
But anyway, this one's kind of interesting because it's the niece of late Iron Maiden drummer Clive Burr has become a WWE pro wrestler under the ring name of Lizzie Rain. Rain, who wrestled on the British independent circuit as Rain Leverkusen, appeared on Tuesday night's April 21st episode of NXT, the WWE's weekly TV program showcasing up and coming wrestlers. She debuted in a short video teaser where she announced that she'll have her first televised match on next week's broadcast. They said I was too. She said in the promo that they said I was too loud, too gritty, too unapologetic, but I will never apologize for who I am, and that is Lizzie Rain and heavy metal, baby. End quote. She declares in the short snippet with thunderous metal music in the background. The stage is set next week for my NXT debut, and the world is about to find out that Lizzie Rain in heavy metal will never, never, ever die. Which she is true. That is
Yep.
true. Which I can't say that about her because at some point,
Yeah, right.
we all have to.
Yep.
But the metal will always be there. You're right.
That's right.
Rain wrestled on the Independents under the moniker the Maiden of Metal. Is reference to her uncle's former band. Until now, she was most famous for her time in the British promotion Progress, where she won the Progress Women's Championship. She attended a WWE tryout in August of 2025 and was named the MVP of all the potential signees. So maybe she's
good for her.
I haven't seen her wrestle, so I don't really know how good she is. I guess we'll find out on Tuesday because I'll be watching it on. Well,
Yeah.
I'll watch it on Wednesday, the day after, but I'll definitely be checking it out and see how good she is. So I mean,
Be interesting to see what her entrance sounds like.
oh yeah, so that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. And being a wrestling fan, like I don't know if you follow much, but there was a guy called Van Hammer back in the day.
I remember Van Hammer.
and he actually passed away this week. So I kind of thought that was kind of crazy, where he kind of passed away, and then she's kind of stepping in. And I'm just like, man, that's just crazy timing, dude. That's just too weird for me. It's like I was like, man, that's wild. And like he come out with a guitar and played guitar and stuff. So it was it's a gimmick that's not overly used, I think. So it's good that they're spacing it, probably 30, 40 year difference there. So between what he did and now, well, I guess probably about 30, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he was in the 90s right before all the big Attitude Era and all that stuff. So,
but yeah, I do remember Van Hammer.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I think it's pretty cool that you got the relationship still going strong between the two fan bases there. So
Oh yeah, it's always good. Always
well,
good.
I don't know if have you watched any of it lately?
No, I haven't. I haven't had.
Well,
a chance
I don't
to.
know if you've seen the mascot Penta. I don't know if you've seen him, but he's got one of the best entrances
I
I've seen.
saw his.
It's crazy.
I saw his WrestleMania
crazy
entrance.
good.
It was his WrestleMania entrance was ridiculous.
Yeah,
Oh my god,
crazy good, dude.
Of course,
Yeah, he's a
like
good wrestler, too.
yeah, I like him anyway. He was one of the guys that I used to like watching when I was watching AEW on the regular.
Yeah.
And I thought I didn't think he got enough of a push. I mean, when he was with when he was with Ray Phoenix, he did. But they were the Lucha Brothers, and that was fine. They did good as a tag team. But yeah, it's good to see him in WWE. I know he's what is he, Intercontinental Champion right now?
Intercontinental.
Yeah,
Champion.
he's Intercontinental Champion right now. So it's nice to see that they put a title on him. But yeah, I saw his entrance at WrestleMania. It was just stupid awesome. It was so good.
So what's that?
Yeah.
What's that? He says, Zero Mido.
It's Cerro Miedo. It's zero.
Miedo.
Yeah, it's zero fear. No fear.
Zero fear. Yeah. I knew what it meant. I just couldn't.
Oh, okay.
I'm not very good at Spanish, so
Yeah.
I'm like barely good at English. So
All right. My next one is my next one's is only a couple paragraphs, but new metal veterans 40 Below Summer have announced a lineup change after releasing their first new album, Untethered. In over a decade, last October, the New Jersey outfit have said goodbye to lead guitarist David Mondragon. He had held that role since 2014. Newly joining the group in turn is Anthony Bordonaro from Redefined and Radio Royalty. In a statement issued overnight via social media, well, this was from the April 19th, so it was at the very beginning of this week's news cycle. In a statement issued overnight via social media, 40 Below Summer said of the change, quote, "A new member announcement we would like you all to welcome," his Twitter handle, to the 40 Below family. A few months back, David the Dragon 925 told us he could no longer continue on with us due to his extremely busy schedule. The man does a lot, and we wish him nothing but the best, along with the boys in E-Town Concrete. Well, that's a name I hadn't heard in a minute. Our bassist, Roby, they're using all these Twitter handles. Roby Timeline said, "I got the guy," and boy, did he ever. So now we have two Anthonys in the band, 4/5 Italian, baby, where we've been working our asses off in preparation preparation for these upcoming shows, so we hope to see you all this summer so you can personally welcome our new guy, end quote. So, like I say, a pretty quick band announcement, but it do happen. It do happen.
Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
That's what I get for trying to do stuff online. So while I'm still live.
Uh,
But yeah, Dana, you are right. There's a lot of metal wrestlers that are metalheads.
yes, there are.
And the crazy thing is like the entrance music for some of them is really surprising. Sometimes
Yeah.
I know there's a few of African American wrestlers that come out to it too. And I thought,
Yeah.
man, I
Yeah.
mean, someone's got some good stuff, man. NXT. There's a guy on NXT that's got some crazy good music, and I was like, I keep trying to like look it up to see who does it, and I haven't found out yet. So hopefully,
Yeah.
I'll find because I'm just like because I hear it sometimes. I'm like, man, I like to check that band out, just to see what all
Yeah.
they have out there if they're sounding like this. So it's a good way to introduce. I think I don't have a problem with it because, like I said, any way to introduce people to metal,
Yep.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Whether it be baseball, which I know you're probably going to have a story about that at some
Yeah,
point.
that's my next one. Yep.
Hockey, which we've done before, and
Yeah, hockey and heavy metal have actually
yeah,
had a pretty tight relationship
yeah,
over the
especially
years
with
too.
making hockey pucks out of band names and stuff, and
Yep.
so on
Yeah.
jerseys. I mean, they've had hockey jerseys, and
Yep.
so, I mean,
Pantera wrote the actual goal song that the Dallas Stars use whenever they score a goal.
oh wow,
Well,
really?
yeah, Pantera. They're we know that Vinny and Dime, they're from Texas, so
Right.
they were huge. They were huge Cowboy fans. They were huge Dallas Stars fans. So yeah, whenever Dallas scores a goal at home, there's a song that plays. When while they're celebrating the goal, and Pantera wrote it.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Yep.
I didn't see. I learned something new today. I didn't know that. So
The more you know.
that's right. Yeah. We are an educating podcast. So.
Yes, we are.
All right, the second one over from Metal Hammer is also about wrestling related. So now former WWE World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk walked out to an AFI song and paid tribute to late Harm's Way guitarist Bo Luders during his entrance at WrestleMania last weekend. The 47-year-old wrestler faced Roman Reigns in a losing effort in the main event of the two-day extravaganza on Sunday, April 19th, held at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. The first part of his entrance was soundtracked by AFI's 2003 track, Mysteria Cantare. It means the beginning, which Punk previously used as a theme song during his time at the promotion Ring of Honor from 2002 to 2005. While walking to the ring, Punk sported a white jacket with a list of names of late friends and colleagues. Luders, who died on April 1st at age 38, was on the wrestler's chest, while his right arm had the names WWE Director Kerwin Silfies, a camera operator Jim Shank, and International Touring Manager Davey Coates. Designs on the back and chest reference WWE Hall of Famer Harley Race and Punk's dog Larry, respectively. Luders co-founded Harm's Way in 2006 and lived in Punk's hometown of Chicago, along with fellow WWE wrestler Danhausen. You are cursed. And AEW wrestler Brody King. Of course, we know Brody King's his metal background already. So Punk attended the guitarist's funeral earlier this month. Colin Young, the co-host of Luder's podcast Hardlore, and Luder's partner Taylor brought his ashes to WrestleMania in an urn that resembled the one held by pro wrestling veteran The Undertaker during his career.
And that was a cool little tie-in.
That
too.
was cool. Yeah, I loved it. Harm's Way announced Luder's death via social media on April 2nd. No cause of death was given, but the band said in their statement, for those struggling with depression or urges to self-harm, help is always available. We are not in this alone. Suicide and Crisis Lifeline 988, end quote.
Yep.
So, we've talked about that on the show a lot too. I mean, I think that's probably one of the biggest things that we could probably, be spokespersons for this every week, and we probably should, I guess. But there is help there. There's a suicide and crisis lifeline. Actually, the mental health in this country is probably To me, not to get back into politics, but I think that's the number one thing we need to be working on. We don't need to be worrying about all this other bullshit. I mean, there's so much of this mental health, and honestly, I think a lot of the social media causes a lot of that too.
I think so. Yeah.
So I mean, for I don't know if kind of off topic, but the guy that was in the Storage Wars,
I
pretty
just saw that Daryl
yeah,
Sheets. Yep.
yeah, she's yeah,
I saw that.
he committed suicide because he was being cyberbullied. It's
Yeah.
like, uh, you know, that's one of the downsides to social media. But
Yep.
you know, and we can't control what's social media and what's not. We can report it, but it probably falls on deaf ears most of the time. So,
Well, the funny thing is, I mean, yeah, you report somebody's, like, if you're being cyberbullied or whatever, you're being spammed or stalked or whatever the hell you want to call it. Yeah, you report a person and they take care of, they get rid of that profile. They just start another one.
yeah, just under a
I
different
mean,
name.
so I mean, unless somebody does the work to track down every IP address that might be attached to a certain person, and then even that only goes so far because you just get a new computer or a new internet connection,
Yeah.
and so I mean, you can't really, I mean, other than just shutting down all of your own accounts and just going dark. I mean, as long as you have an online presence, people can just be the dicks that they want to be as long as they want to be it. You know.
Well, like my messenger is private, so it's kind of like I have to accept, or if it's the first time you ever message me, I have to accept it for us to even communicate. So
Yeah. Same.
if I don't know you, I delete it. I don't care.
Yeah. Same.
I don't have time for I don't have time for you spamming me or you know telling me that I'm a shitty podcaster or horrible wrestler or
Yeah.
whatever you think. I don't care.
Yeah.
I made my money, so you can
Yeah.
pretty much fuck off. I don't care.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the only
the thing-
time you want to be heckled like that is when you're in the ring as a heel. So
well, yeah, I mean that's kind of comes with the territory. But
right, yeah,
when you so the whole thing was. It was always crazy to me that you'd have some fans that were smart enough to know that there's a difference between the persona you play in the ring and if they see you out in public. There's a difference. I've wrestled in the town I live in, so you have to be mindful of that and shopping and stuff. So that's one thing I will say. A lot of wrestlers don't even wrestle in their hometown because of stuff like that.
because they got to run into people they
Because
know.
they got to run into people they know. So they'll stay away from hometown shows, which it's fun if that's what they want to do. I don't, everybody's got their own
Yeah,
personal beliefs with what they want to do and what they not. I was the kind of thing. Hey, it's a booking and I'm making money. Let's go.
there you go.
I don't care if it's 20 minutes down the road or 2 hours down the road.
Yeah,
You know, you're in it for notoriety and money at that point especially when you're younger. Once you get to a certain age, you kind of realize that hey, this isn't going where I want it to go. So let's do something else. So
sure.
that's why I'm here. I mean, I was 42 years old and was like, who in the hell's going to hire me at 42 at this point? It's kind
Yeah,
of,
yeah,
you know, it's which is crazy that they do hire a lot of people in their 30s now, which they did not do back when I was wrestling. It was almost if you got to 35, you could hang it up, where you weren't getting called.
yeah.
Now they're hiring people at 34 and 30. I'm like, damn, really?
Yeah,
Like,
well, and
this is
then, yeah, I
crazy.
mean, giving guys in there. I mean, well, hell, CM Punk is what, 47, and he just dropped
Right.
the title. So I mean,
Yeah.
you know, hell,
Yeah.
Roman Reigns isn't young, and
He's 42, I think, somewhere
yes, I
around
mean,
there.
he's not young, and he's had all those health issues. So I mean,
Yeah, he's got leukemia. Yeah, which is I don't know. It's like sometimes I'm like he has to okay these storylines because for somebody in his situation where they say, oh, well, you're just a part time. Well, yeah, I mean, because I can't wrestle every fucking week because I got leukemia. You dumb fuck. But
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
it's like he was. So that's what a lot of people didn't realize. Like during like the couple years there that he was kind of absent here and there, and not a full time wrestler, but he was a champion. So the thing was is they didn't have really anybody to build storylines around, but the bloodline thing. So you have to roll with it and just kind of use it when you can. But he was taken off for leukemia treatments at that time, so he couldn't
yeah,
be at every pay per view and every whatever. So, but people don't understand that, and they want to give him shit for being off all the time, which I
yeah,
it is what it is. But
yeah. All right, my last one
Fans
is,
fans are going to fan, I guess.
of course they are. Well, fan is short for fanatic, so
Well, that's true. Yeah. Was you ever remember that movie? Was it? Well, I think it was Wesley
yeah, it was
Snipes.
call the fan.
Yeah, it was called Fan, yeah, with Robert De Niro. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a wild movie. And I
it
always
was.
think about that when I tell stories about stuff like this. I'm like, yeah, that was a pretty much spot on,
Hmm.
spot on life of a crazy fan. So
Yeah, absolutely. All right, my last one is over the PRP, of course, and Jason made a quick little reference to this, and it's a short story too. With actually, it's got a an embedded Twitter, well X, and an X video too. So you'll have to, not a triple X video, you pervs, but so you'll have to go find it if you want to see it. But new metal pioneers Korn have shown their appreciation to San Diego Padres pitcher Mason James Miller. The 27-year-old athlete made metal headlines recently when he walked out to the mound soundtracked by Korn's Blind during a March 28th game against the Detroit Tigers. For old school fans of Korn, Blind was a first introduction to the band, having been launched as the lead single from the group's self-titled debut album in 1994. It also served as it also served as it also served as opened that 2X Platinum effort. That's horrible writing. Showing their gratitude for his musical taste, Korn and their management sent Miller a care package with his team surprising him with the below haul of official merch. And like I say, there's a bunch of stuff that they sent him. You'll have to check that out. It's kind of cool everything that they gave him, but yeah. So you guys can check that out on the PRP or or wherever. So, but kind of just again, heavy metal in sports.
yeah,
So
yeah, and
you love to see it. So
yeah, and I mean, you love it when the artist is taking up for you too. So I mean, it always
oh yeah,
that's always a good sign that they're on your side with it. So,
yes,
but oh, speaking of well, not to go back, but to wrestling and the metal, I'm kind of upset that they released Aleister Black, which
uh,
had probably one of the probably one of the most known metal entrances that I can think of in the last probably 20 years. But so it's,
wasn't his entrance music, didn't they write that for him specifically?
I think so. I think that I
That
can't
was,
remember. I can't remember who wrote it. Who
but
did it. I
I'm
would
pretty.
real quick.
But I think he did. I think he had that written especially for him. That way he could take it wherever he went. Because I mean,
Yep,
that's
because
his. Yeah,
he uses it in AEW when he
yeah,
was there too. Yeah.
yeah. That's his entrance music. He had it commissioned just for him. So, which is badass. But yeah, I can't remember who wrote it either. But yeah, it's his own. Well, kind of like what Cody Rhodes did. Cody Rhodes' entrance
Well,
thing.
yeah, yeah. He
He
bought
had
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had it written just for him. So I mean, he can take it with him wherever he goes. So.
Oh, here we go. Def Rebel is. Oh no, wait a minute. Aleister Black's theme featuring incendiary. I always hate trying to pronounce that damn word. Incendiary, I
Yeah.
guess, by Def Rebel. So
Yeah.
Def Rebel is actually, but the name of the song is Incendiary.
Yeah, and that's an Alistair Black original,
Yeah, yeah, which is pretty cool.
or Malachi Black if you remember him from AEW. So
Right,
yeah,
which that's probably what you're going to be seeing again because I'm pretty sure that's probably the
probably.
reason you go back to. Honestly, I would love to see a match with him and Tommaso Ciampa myself.
Yeah.
So that'd be pretty cool.
Well, I don't know if you saw, but I mean, Andrade was back in AEW and was super duper excited to wrestle Darby Allin. So I mean,
Jeez. Well, I mean, everybody's probably excited to wrestle Darby Allin. He's fucking smaller than everybody in the locker room.
well, you do
Um,
know what I meant, right?
well, yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. If you know, you know, and if you don't,
Yeah, right.
you can Google it and you'll see what I mean. But
Yeah. Oh man. All right, my last one is over at Metal Sucks. This one is a little lengthy too, so I'm going to apologize in advance. But this one's, we had to save the drama for the end, I guess. So uh, this one kind of was on my radar, but it was it was so back and forth. I guess it's like I don't know, man. It was crazy how everything kind of like was back and forth. And who was it that had an issue with this with Sebastian at first? I can't remember who the first guy was. Shit, I can't remember now. But he come back and apologized and saying he was just everything was going on. His cat had died and all this other stuff, and he was just you know being a little bit I guess out there and didn't mean anything he said and all this other stuff. Goddamn, who was that? Shit, I have to go back and look now. But so this is a whole different incident, which is kind of a part. I think it's kind of carrying over from that story though. So maybe dude probably wasn't as crazy as he thought he was. But last week, attendees of this year's Monsters of Rock cruise boarded the Norwegian Joy and embarked on a trip from Miami to Grand Turk, full of good times and great music. It was supposed to be a celebration of all things rock and metal on the high seas, but one dude apparently didn't get the memo. For one dude, it was a chance to allegedly get belligerently drunk and throw a bitch fit at someone during an exclusive VIP party. That one dude was ex-Skid Row and current Twisted Sister frontman Sebastian Bach. At least that's according to the first-person account shared earlier today by Tough vocalist and Metal Sludge founder Stevie Rochelle. In a post over on Metal Sludge, Rochelle claims the incident started on the final night of the cruise. A couple days prior, he'd been told by one of the cruise photographers that both Sebastian Bach and Striper's Michael Sweet had been talking about him and wanted to meet up in person. Excuse me. Now Rochelle and Sweet are on good terms these days. He said he quickly learned where he stood with Sebastian Bach, who he'd once been label mates with back in the 80s during the artist-only VIP party. Upon approaching the newly anointed Twisted Sister vocalist, Rochelle said that he was immediately berated and accosted with all kinds of slurs. Oh, and weirdly enough, an allegedly high amount of references to Bach's dick for some reason. He said, quote, I kept my composure as he repeatedly called me a fat homo and continued to ask me, do you want to see more pictures of my cock? And he made sure to add, your website sucks. And he also told me, I'm going to have you kicked off this ship. This went on and on. More insults followed, but the fat homo and asking me about his cock was repeated over and over, perhaps 6 to 8 times. Not sure what all that meant. If I stayed calm, didn't use any profanity, and never even raised my voice, but I made sure to stand right in front of him and stared at him, similarly to the in-ring stare down from Mike Tyson towards Peter McNeely. I just watched him as he ran it and flailed all over. The same thing we've seen on YouTube videos where he throws a temper tantrum. At some point, security arrived and got in between us and separated us. Of course, once they were there, Bach's anger and threatening words let me at him got louder and more aggressive. I stood there calm and offering the following, I'm right here, come get me, blurted out, fuck you, you homo again. And apparently this was all in response to years of Metal Sludge covering Bach as and his well-documented bad behavior. Rochelle contends that all of his coverage was either A, 100% truth, or B, the opinion of those who have contributed to the site. While it's understandable for a public figure, just saying, sorry. I ran out of allergy medicine 2 days ago, so
Oh shit.
I'm dying right now. Pollen count's high as hell right now. So.
Yeah, it is.
While it's understandable for a public figure to take issue with how they're being portrayed in the media, it's another thing to do so hurling homophobic slurs at people. Remember, this is the same guy that Rochelle points out was photographed in 1990 issue of Metalheads magazine wearing a shirt that read AIDS, kills fags dead.
Jesus.
He said at a later date that he understood it was not cool to make fun of death. He followed up by saying that he does not know, condone, comprehend, or understand homosexuality in any way, shape, or form, or size. So yeah, dude talks a lot about his dick to other men, but it's Rochelle's who's a homo. That's strange, right? According to Rochelle, security eventually had him removed at Bach's request. That led him to be escorted out of the party, but his girlfriend was not thrown out with him. Still, when she went to go tell the other people she was chatting with that she had to leave, Bach allegedly began berating her. Here's Rochelle's recollection of what happened. Quote, once I was outside the club, my girlfriend came to ask what happened as she was seated with her friends on the other side of the venue. I explained what went down, and she went back to tell her friends that she was leaving. Upon her re-entering the venue, Bach accosted her, got right in her face, and berated her with insults. Fuck you, you fucking cunt, you fucking bitch, and all kind of other slurs. Damn. My girlfriend was not with me for 1 second in that club, and I was with other guys, and she was with her friends. Not sure how he even knew she was my girlfriend, but regardless, he found her and went after her like only a coward would. If that's true, that's a massive L, as kids say. Huge bitch ass move. Real small PP energy, bud. Bot comes from a time when bad behavior by rock stars was anticipated and oftentimes celebrated. Those were the days when excessively teased out hair ruled the strip. Excessive alcohol and drug use was the norm, and women were nothing but sex objects that fueled countless songs of girls only being 17 and whatnot. Ooh, I think
Right.
they have a Kid Winger on top of it now.
Yeah.
Hell, the bad boy persona basically made bands like Motley Crue, Poison, Guns N' Roses, and the like. Sadly, some folks from that era seem to have never gotten the memo to rein it back in their advanced age. For them, the party never ended, and unfortunately, it's led to some super inducing moments on and off stage. Bach is allegedly one of those people, having found himself in the headlines for all the wrong reasons numerous times since his Skid Row days. At 58 years old, he just can't help but keep acting out. Rochelle ultimately closed out his statement, recollection, and post by offering up a sort of olive branch to Bach. He suggests that the Canadian born singer get treatment for his alcohol abuse while hoping that one day they could talk like grown ups in the future. Rochelle is a bigger man than most, given the circumstances. Damn, that's another fat slur. What the hell? After reading what Rochelle allegedly experienced, I keep thinking one thing. Dee Snider is famously straight edge up until recently. He'd never taken drugs, smoked cigarettes, or drank alcohol. The guys in Twisted Sister are used to that kind of leadership. What's going to happen during their tour when Bob begins to have solo ragers and acts like a fucking moron on stage, screaming at women and being an all-around dick? We've seen it before, so it's not outside the realm of possibility. Well, for one thing, Eddie Ojada's not going to put up with that kind of shit. So,
No.
so actually, this right here may have them second guessing their decision. So
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, I mean, if it gets to that point, they'll just fire his ass.
well, yeah. I mean, there's plenty of vocalists out there. I mean, we just talked about Kelly Hansen earlier. He'd be great, a great vocalist for his Twisted Sister.
Yeah. So
There's plenty of other vocalists out there that can do it.
yeah, I'm sure they'll have him on a short leash. So
Well, this is the kind of thing too. If that, like I said, I wasn't there, and I don't like to speculate. But if that's what happened, then this is why Skid Row's probably like, nah, man, we're not reconciling with this guy.
probably.
I mean, if that's what happened, like I don't know, I
Yeah.
wasn't there. So, to then again, reading the story too, I kind of feel like you had like Rochelle was trying to be the tough guy after the fact. Security showed up, and I'm gonna be tough, getting his face and shit. Like, dude,
Maybe little column A, little column B. So
probably I would say the whole story is probably exaggerated from what it really happened. But
yeah.
because you're going to because really you're only hearing one side. You're only hearing Rochelle's side of the story. So to me, I would want to hear an account from somebody that wasn't even in the mix. And
Right.
actually, I would prefer to hear somebody that wasn't in the mix and don't like either one of the guys. That's what I would. That's what I would like to hear, because then I would probably believe that over.
Or, even better with, it's 2026 at this point. So it would be nice and they were on a cruise ship. It'd be nice to see some surveillance tape.
True, yeah, that is true. I mean, that'd probably be the best.
Yeah.
Best way to nip that in the bud for sure.
Right. Exactly.
All right, got some other headlines here to talk about. Former Slipknot drummer Jay Weinberg reveals that he first jammed with the band just 24 hours before they announced the departure of Joy Jordison, which we've kind of heard stories like this before. With was it Scorpions? Herman Rarebear was talking about that.
Yeah, I think so.
It said that like they were jamming with the drummer for like 2 months before they told him he was out. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Songs by melodic death metal pioneers In Flames, At the Gates, and Dark Tranquility to be performed by Gothenburg Orchestra, which is like what I said. For me, death metal In Flames is not a death metal band in my opinion, but that's just me.
No, I don't think so either. But
Whatever. But I still think it's kind of crazy how the orchestra stuff is kind of rolling into. Like I said, metal plays a role in a lot more than we think. Homelessness charity Centerpoint drops Sharon Osbourne as celebrity ambassador after her apparent support for a far right movement. Uh, you know, who is that hurting though? Who, in the long run, is that going to hurt the homelessness charity or Sharon Osbourne? Like,
right.
you know, that's just kind of dumb in my opinion. You just like shoot your like, just just pull her aside and say, hey, you need to not to be that vocal on either side while you're being a spokesperson for our charity because we're trying to help everybody. That's probably what should have happened, but just nobody has that kind of patience anymore. They're just like, oh, we're just going to all out just get rid of you. Like,
Yeah, I know.
stupid. It's like I said, most of these people are millionaires. You're not hurting them. They're probably volunteering their time to be your
Yeah,
ambassador. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
especially with it being a charity. So I mean, unless from what we've been hearing lately, you're paying somebody and you're not supposed to be.
well, yeah,
A petition has been launched to save the legendary London studio where Iron Maiden recorded The Number of the Beast and Def Leppard recorded Pyromania, which I think that's cool. Please, for God's sakes, don't let the history of that place go to,
yeah,
you know, crumble and
yeah,
build a fucking, you know, 7-story fucking apartment building or something.
yeah. It would be like if they wanted to tear down Motown in Detroit.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
one. It's
Why?
one. Look, it's one building. I mean, it's Motown Studios is just one building.
Right.
It's not taking up a whole lot of space, but it's on the National Register. Leave it the fuck alone. Well, they have to now because it's on the
Well, yeah,
National
yeah, yeah.
Register. But I mean, that's the thing. This studio is one building. Leave it alone.
Yeah, and all the
Not
history
every,
that's probably happened in that building, man. Like,
yeah,
I'm not an R&B fan or Motown fan, but golly, dude, I remember some of those bands,
yeah,
growing up because my
yeah.
dad listened to a little bit of everything. So
Right. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, yeah, I'm not a Motown. I didn't listen to the Motown sound either. But I know
you
some of
know
the history behind it, and I love history, and I hate it when history is erased. I hate that
exactly.
shit, man.
Well,
Because like I say, it's one building. Leave it the hell alone. There's plenty of other places to build.
you know,
Especially in Detroit, there was a lot of real estate that they actually reclaimed in Detroit. Because they basically they took a lot of the abandoned properties on the outskirts and they leveled it for future redevelopment. They kind of shrunk the footprint of Detroit. So I mean, there's plenty of real estate to be redeveloped. I mean, leave
right.
shit alone.
You know,
But so
yeah.
yes, please
Hopefully,
save this building.
yeah. Hopefully they get to save that building because that's like I said, that sounds like a legendary landmark in my opinion. So
Yeah.
Sean Crahan explains how Christina Scabbia ended up on the Look Outside Your Window. That's may get released, may not. Hell, I don't
I mean,
know.
yeah, I was about to say it's all well and good that she's on it. Are we ever gonna get to fucking hear it?
Yeah. Which, if you don't know, Christina Scabbia actually dated Jim Root back in, I don't know, about 2000 to something, 2 to 17 or something. I don't know.
Okay,
So,
now see, I didn't know that.
well, I didn't either until reading the story, and I was, just happened to like say it over and over in my mind. So I didn't add that to it. So I was just trying to like you know, remember it from when I was talking about it. So, but like I said, it's one of those things where you remember stuff that you read, and you never knew before, and now, somebody's going to bring up some of that later on, and I'm like, oh, well, they dated for 15 years, so, how'd you know that? Well, I read it and I retained it,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, but again, it's just one of those things that you find out just doing a little bit of reading, and you're like, oh shit, and then just
Which
these
is,
little teeny
which
little
I
nuggets.
love that, dude. I know you do too. Just love like, finding new stuff and like, oh shit, no shit, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I do.
All right, Undeath signs to Relapse Records, teases fastest and darkest album yet. Yeah, I'm I'm okay with them saying that, but it seems like it, don't every band say that now? It's like,
They
oh, it's
do.
going to be our fastest, it's going to be our
Our
most
heaviest
metal
and
or heaviest, and
yeah,
it's almost like a stigma to get
yeah,
people to buy shit, you know.
yeah.
So Live Nation is at it again. They're offering $30 tickets to Iron Maiden, Guns N' Roses, Avenged Sevenfold, and a lot more. You know, of course, they do that every year around this time. So just, I can't remember what day they do that, but I know it's coming up. So just kind of be on the lookout for that if you want to get a $30 ticket to one of those shows. So at this point, they probably have to pay me $30 to see Avenged Sevenfold, but
Well, if Avenged Sevenfold is gonna play predominantly music off their last two albums, then yeah.
wish
And I
they
and I,
probably
and I
wish they won. I mean,
and I, and I
they'll have to play the hits.
and I really do hate that. I
I do
I
too. I do too.
I hate that because I've talked about it before, man. I've listened to Avenged Sevenfold since sounding the seventh trumpet,
Yep.
since the beginning.
Hell,
You know, so
I had a guy that when I was working at my first pharmacy job, he had an EP of theirs, which wound up being like on albums later.
yeah,
But I don't even think it was like a. I think it was like one of those demo EPs that you get sometimes, you
yeah,
know, in like a little cardboard sleeve thing. That's all it
sure,
was.
yeah.
And I was just like,
So
dude, who is this? He said, oh, this is a band called Avenged Sevenfold. I was like, oh, that's cool as shit. I like that.
yeah, so yeah, I've been listening to them since God, what the late '90s I think is when that
Yeah,
shit came. '97 I think. So I've been listening to them for a long time, and bands that have been around this long, I mean, they have the right to write and record whatever they want. Of course they do, you know, but it's just from a personal standpoint, and I know you and I are on the same page as far as the last album, to be sure. Ugh, so it's just
right. Yeah, right.
so I mean
At
that, and
this point, I want to blame them for Sleep Token. So
that's funny. That's funny.
you
So
started this shit, M Shadows.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
that's
But
funny.
yeah, so anyway, those tickets are going on sale and out there for
Yeah.
coming up. So, like I said, there's other bands too, so it may be something else out there that and I think they just do it. They do it for like other stuff too, don't they? I don't think it's
I
just
think
music.
so.
I think it's comedy shows and everything.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it's
Yeah,
just
strict,
confined to
strict.
music.
That's what I thought. I couldn't remember, but so hey, if you're into comedians or whatever, just see if you can find you a
I,
good
I do
good
enjoy
person.
it. I do enjoy going to see a good stand up comedy. I really do.
Well, then I'm gonna have to talk to you after the show. So,
Okay.
Marius Duda, I think hopefully I said that right, quits Riverside, citing internal tensions. Doesn't see the band continuing without him, which kind of I don't know. That could be taken a couple different ways. I think just from a headline, you know, a little cocky maybe, or actually could be true. Who knows? But we had Gore's Chuck Varga is battling cancer right now, so prayers
Yeah.
go out to him. Hopefully he can overcome it. We've had some. Let's see, have I got that on here? Yeah, I do. So we'll talk about it again in a minute. Gojira's Mario Duplantier. I can't never pronounce that. Is it Duplantier or Duplantier?
Duplantier.
That's what I thought, Duplantier,
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
French. So
They're
I would
French.
think,
Yeah.
yeah. But I heard somebody say it the other day. They was talking about Joe, and they said Duplantier, and I'm like, wait, is it supposed to have an R sound? I've been saying Duplantier the whole time. Like, okay, so I was right.
Yeah,
So
it's Duplantier. Yeah.
okay, cool. So he streams a new drum solo called Avalanche. So check that out. So not often you get to hear a good full length drum solo like that. I guess usually you hear it within a song, but not a whole track. I guess.
Yeah.
Mark Morton explains why Lamb of God changed their logo. I think we've heard Randy's take on it, but Mark Morton kind of got his take on it. He did say something in the story that I will share because I thought it was interesting. He said, if the logo is the only thing they dislike about the album, then I think we're doing all right. So,
That's true. Yes.
because honestly, the logo is not changing the music. I mean, the
This is
music's
true.
still the music's still Lamb of God. So I mean,
Yeah, if I mean if you're nitpicking to that extent, then yeah, you're fine.
which I don't like the new logo. I mean, that's
It's
just
it's
my
bo-
personal opinion.
it's
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 just
bo-
bland, I
it's
guess.
boring, yeah, but it's
Yeah,
not our band, so you know.
yeah. I don't care. So, maybe that's what they're saying. We're getting old and boring or something. I don't know. And then you did the story on Bill Murray. I couldn't remember if you had that or not. So,
Yeah,
Cold Chamber drummer Mikey Cox reveals Stage 3 cancer battle, announces he is cancer free, which
that's
is
great
absolutely,
news.
yeah. So hopefully we get a gore battle, cancer battle with the same results
Yes,
here soon.
absolutely.
So, yeah, because fuck
And I
cancer.
mean stage 3 too. I mean
Yeah, I mean
that's no joke. It's not like one of those things. Well, whoa, we caught it early. I mean stage 3. I mean that's pretty
it's
far
been there
along.
for
I
a minute.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So good for him.
1914 claim Italian police stole money the band raised for Ukrainian troops. And it's so funny that I think reading the story, they said something about they actually got fined for making that claim against a police official. I don't know, something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So you know how the laws are kind of crazy over in those areas.
Oh yeah.
So they got fined just for saying that hey they stole money from us.
Yeah.
Some bullshit right there. Oh man.
Just for
But I
making the
mean,
accusation. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, if they actually did steal the money, which is fucked up because you raised it for a cause that you believed in,
Right.
whether we do or not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
He yeah, they did a good thing that they thought was right, and raised the money for Ukrainian troops, and then don't supposedly gave the money to the troops, but Italian police said no, we're going to use that for mob shit.
I mean probably maybe.
Korn
You never
released a
know.
surprise single, "Reward the Scars," for the Diablo 4 Lord of Hatred video game. I haven't checked it out yet,
I
but
haven't. I haven't either. I need to.
it'll probably be on the playlist this week. I'm working on that right now,
Yeah.
so I haven't
Yeah.
gotten to. I mean, I hadn't gotten to any you know thing past the album releases that were done
Yeah.
this week. So.
We actually speaking of new single releases, we got some good ones. We got the Corn one. We got the new
Yeah,
Devil
yeah.
Driver.
Oh,
Extinction AD came out with a new single. So I
oh, that's
mean,
right. They did. I forgot about that.
yeah. So
And then Dope earns their first gold single in the U.S., which is just
finally,
crazy to me that they just now getting a gold single, which
yeah.
is
Especially for something that came out in 2001. I mean,
right. It's
I
been it's
mean,
been there for a long time. So
Dope has been a band that's been slept on.
oh, for
They
sure,
absolutely have been.
absolutely, absolutely.
They absolutely have been.
And I think like they're with their tour just going with Static X and stuff, it's kind of bringing more people to
Yep.
realizing that. So
Yep.
they're like, oh, who's this Dope? I mean,
Yep.
because I mean, most of
100%.
the people only heard a couple songs from them. They've never really dug into
Yeah.
their stuff, which I thought the last album was really good.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
but
a lot of their early stuff is really good, and
mm,
the job that Edsel Dope is doing, filling in for Wayne, as
oh yeah,
portraying Zero on stage. Oh my God, he did such an amazing job at that concert.
yeah,
Man, such a good job. And man, that the set list at that show. Oh man, and they played every Static X song that you would have wanted them to play. You know how sometimes you go to a show and you're like, man, it was a good set, but I would have liked to hear them play this or this or this.
right.
I can't think of a single song that I wanted them to play that they didn't. So
Now, did you go to the,
that set list from front to back was perfect.
did you go to the same show I did, or I couldn't remember?
No, it was Mudvayne, Static X, and Vended.
Oh, that's right.
It was at Municipal. So
So I seen Static X, Seven Dust, and Dope. That's what I seen.
yeah.
So
Well, hell,
I don't know if
I would have loved to have seen Dope. I actually haven't seen Dope live, so I would have liked to have seen that. But I mean, I understand.
it was
You know,
awesome. Yeah, it was great.
yeah.
But the thing was like I don't know if they did it there, but Static X had this I don't know, it was weird. They had like a light inside of bubbles. I don't know
They
if you've
did it.
seen.
Yep, they did
I
it.
said, man, that's some crazy shit how they did that. Or
Yeah.
smoke. It was like
Yep.
smoke filled bubbles. That's what it was. Smoke
Yeah,
filled
they
bubbles.
they did that shit. It was cool as hell.
And
And
then
you
when
could,
it
yeah,
popped, and when it
yeah,
pops, the smoke just kind of goes.
yeah. So we
I
would,
was like,
because
man,
we,
that's some crazy shit, dude.
yeah, because we were standing up by the barricade, like we were like a couple layers deep, but Kayla was standing in front of me, and then there was a girl standing in front of her. So I was like three deep from the barricade, but we were stage right, kind of. So like the bubble machine was kind of where we were standing. So when they would come out, kind of like right on top of us and then fall. So yeah, we were reaching, boop, 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 So yeah, it was cool. So you would pop them, and then the smoke would just be like,
Yeah, it's
it's
so
kind of,
crazy.
so it was kind of neat. But they had
It's
they had
almost,
a cool
it's
stage
almost,
show too. So
yeah, it's almost wild how something so simple. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you got all these lasers and you know pyros and all this stuff, and then something that simple kind of amazes you.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like, dude, you got smoke in a bubble, probably costed you like $5. It's just like, uh, hell, they probably blew the cigarettes smoke into the bubble or something. You know?
Oh, well, it didn't smell like smoke, so probably not, So that is one good thing is it didn't smell like smoke, which is good. So
So I want to. Where was that? Here, let me go back. I bet I don't see it now. Yeah, probably not. Anyway, before we get into the hitting the road, I want to say I just seen a post that I wanted to point out because I don't know if you've seen it yet or not. But Hidden Intent's actually opening up for Warbringer.
oh, I did see that. Yeah, yeah,
I'm like,
yeah. In
holy shit, dude!
in Adelaide, I think. I
I think
think
so.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think in Adelaide. So yeah,
that's gonna be whoever gets to go to that show. I'm very
lucky. Yeah,
envious right now.
yeah, lucky.
And of course, I wanted to point out before we get into because I don't have anything, so I'm just kind of like
Okay,
touching on stuff, and then I'll let you roll with it. But
cool.
of course, Dana said that we got two shows coming up in May and June, and possibly another two, so maybe in August and November. So
Yeah.
if you guys haven't, go over and follow the Metal and Tats page,
Yes.
or actually that one or the Metal for Homeless, because I'm not sure which one those shows are for.
Oh
So
yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be either or. Yeah.
yeah, so but follow both of those pages, man.
Yeah.
If you want to see some local shows or
Yes.
whatever. That's Dana usually puts on some pretty good stuff. So.
Yes, he does. But unfortunately, he'll be there, so I kind of.
uh,
Nah,
then,
we kid. Dana's awesome. We're
yeah, and then we'll talk about a few announcements before we get into the album reviews too. So, but
Yep.
I'll try to relate them a little bit. So,
Yep.
I'll let you get carried away with the
Yeah. Yeah,
hitting the road there.
we definitely have more this week. I mean, it's not the longest list of tour
Right.
announcements I've ever done, but I think a couple weeks ago when we were back on the regular show here,
These are half something.
I think I barely had a page, so we got a little bit more this week. But so for hitting the road for the week of the 18th through the 24th, leading off with Gairea and Conjurer, I have a UK tour set up for September, starting September 11th in Manchester at Club Academy, finishing September 18th in London at the Islington Academy Hall. Cryptopsy, Necrot, Blood Monolith, and I don't know if you knew this or not, but Spirit Adrift is going to be on the show, filling in for Fulci.
Yep.
These are Spirit Adrift's farewell shows.
Right,
So,
which really upsets me because you know how
yeah,
big of a fan I am.
yeah.
So,
So Spirit Adrift is calling it a career.
and
That tour,
I haven't seen them live yet. So it's kind of like I'm gonna have to try to find some way to see
yeah.
them during this tour. So
Yeah, so the tour starts coming up real quick, April 30th in Worcester, Mass. At the Palladium upstairs, finishing May 28th in Montreal, Quebec at the Fairmount Theater. Obscura, Pestilence, Cryptic Shift, Thus, and Dark have a European and UK tour scheduled starting January 20th of 2027. We're starting to see 27 creep in, so in Aschaffenburg, Germany at Colossal, finishing February 27th, 2027 in Munich, Germany at Firework. Protest the Hero has a European and UK tour set up with various openers at select dates, starting July 30th in Glasgow, Scotland at Slay featuring Via Nova and Pupil Slicer, finishing April 9th in Budapest, Hungary at Durer Kurt. Today is the Day has a tour set up in May, starting May 19th in Richmond, Virginia at the Broadberry, featuring Napalm Death, finishing May 31st in Chicago, Illinois at the WC Social Club, featuring Pentagram. Slift has a North American tour scheduled. No word yet on the openers. Starting October 6th in Boston, Massachusetts at the Sinclair, finishing October 24th in LA at Pacific Electric. Then Slift will be going over to Europe and to the UK with no word yet on the openers. Starting November 17th in Toulouse, France at Les Bikini, finishing February 6th, 2027 in Barcelona, Spain at Wolf. Atlas and Sunborn are going to Europe and to the UK in September, starting September 1st in Hamburg, Germany at Betty, finishing September 19th in Eindhoven, Netherlands at Dynamo. The Sword, Red Fang, and Spoonbenders will be touring the U.S. starting August 7th in Dallas, Texas at Bomb Factory, finishing August 28th in Denver at the Mission Ballroom. Then Era, Currents, Caskets, and Aviana are going to Europe starting November 2nd in Utrecht, Netherlands at Tivoli Vredenburg, finishing November 24th in Berlin, Germany at Astra. Slomosa is going to Europe with no word yet on any openers, starting September 23rd in Larnaca, Cyprus at Savino Live, finishing October 9th in Munich, Germany at Keep It Low Festival. Glare, Glixen, and Midrift are going to Europe and to the UK in June, starting June 19th in Paris, France at Les Etoiles, finishing June 28th in Manchester, England at the Outbreak Festival. The Word Alive, Not Enough Space, Downswing, and Code Words are going on a North American tour starting July 11th in Chicago at the WC Social Club, finishing August 8th in Detroit at the Shelter. Black Label Society, Zach Sabbath, and Dark Chapel are going on a U.S. tour starting August 25th in Albany, New York at the Palace Theater, finishing October 2nd in Bend, Oregon at the Hayden Holmes Amphitheater. Squid Pisser is going on a West Coast tour with no word on any openers, starting June 18th in Las Vegas at Dive Bar, finishing July 2nd in San Diego, California at Casbah. Hell Ripper and Necrofire are going to Europe, starting September 19th in Hanover, Germany at Café Gloxy, finishing September 27th in Namur, Belgium at Le Belvedere. Balmora is going on a very, very extensive tour of the U.S., and they will be touring with several different bands on multiple tours. Those dates start June 5th in Sterling, Virginia at the Crooked Run Brewing, finishing August 16th in Birmingham, Alabama at the Trim Tab Brewing, and they will be in Nashville July 8th at Brooklyn Bowl. The Chop House Band, which if you don't know is Jason Newsted's new band, will be going out with Blackberry Smoke, who will be appearing at select dates, starting July 1st in Northampton, Massachusetts at Iron Horse Music Hall, finishing in Nashville on July 25th at the Ryman Auditorium. Blackberry Smoke will be at that show. Failure and All Under Heaven are going out starting May 3rd in Cleveland, Ohio at the Grog Shop, finishing May 20th in Toronto, Ontario at the Opera House. They will be in Nashville at the Basement East on May 5th. And lastly, Failure and Quanic are going out starting September 30th in San Francisco, California at the Chapel, finishing October 30th in LA at the Belasco. So that is Hitting the Road for the 18th through the 24th.
Nice. So still got some stuff to look forward to there. So.
Yep.
All right. So speaking of which, before we get into new music and theme of the week stuff, wanted to say that noticed at least 3 of our local bands here are gearing up for new records, which is pretty exciting to have
It is.
them all at once. Which with Valkyrie's Fire just shot a new video, which we'll be sharing as soon as they release that, and then
Yep.
Halo Scars just wrapped up their album recording. So
Yep.
man, I can't wait to hear that, dude. That's going to be phenomenal.
It's going to be good.
So yeah, I'm expecting it to be in our inbox before it's released. But,
Probably. Yeah, knowing Colby, yeah.
yeah, and then of course I just seen Chunder wrapped up recording a new album. So which to me they're one of the more I guess obscure entertainment bands, I want to say, because
Yeah.
because they do
Yeah,
they do this thing where they dress up the same and it's something different all the time. So I think when we did the Slamming at the Sticks, they were all dressed up like hillbillies, and like the first time I think maybe the first time I saw those guys, and I said, as soon as I seen them, I said, what the hell is this shit? and then he opened his mouth. I said, oh wow, okay,
It's fun is what it is.
yeah. And I was like, wow, these dudes are good. And then I got to talking to them, and they say, oh yeah, we do dress up so we kind of go with the theme or whatever show or whatever kind of is going on at the time. They'll theme up and
Oh, yeah.
dress all the same as a theme, which is pretty cool. I don't know if anybody actually does that, so it's kind of unique, I think. So But
Yeah, I don't think so.
yeah, so definitely a lot of new music coming locally too, which is awesome. So
That's a
yeah,
good
not
thing.
to
Yeah.
not to mention we got Buku's albums to go this year.
Yep.
So speaking of Avenged Sevenfold, I don't know if you've seen they're back in the studio writing already. So
Oh, I didn't see that. No.
I think Shadow said, yeah, I don't think that last one got received very well, so we're going to go back. so,
I don't think he was worried about that.
I don't think he
I
was.
really don't. I don't think he was worried. And the truth is, he shouldn't be because they wrote and recorded what they wanted. So I mean,
But yeah,
I mean,
I
sure
mean, he, this is
sure
this
you
is
worry. I mean,
this is a guy that's okay with AI too. So there you go.
yeah, that's true.
So.
That's kind of that's a little concerning, but
Yes, but
but
I mean, the thing is like if you ever notice the people that are okay with AI has already made their money, so they don't give a shit.
well, that's true too.
Most everybody I've seen is like, oh well, I'm okay with AI. Well, yeah, motherfucker, you're already a millionaire. Why do you care? You don't care about the
Yeah.
little bands coming up making no money.
Yeah, you don't got to worry about it eating into your pocketbook. That's true.
Yeah, you were around during the album sales where everything was album sales and it wasn't about digital downloads and stuff.
Yep.
So that's where they made their money off album sales. So it damn sure wasn't streams. That's for sure.
No.
All right, gets into our theme of the week. This week's theme of the week, courtesy of your daughter, Kayla.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
She had a
actually
good
did.
suggestion. I was like, oh shit, that's a good
Yeah,
one.
yeah. You messaged me about that. I'm like, oh, I mean, you keep up with it more than I do. So you saying, hey, let's do this one. I'm like, okay, we've probably never done it before then because I'm sure he's checked. So
But yeah, I did make sure to look. So
so the eat and drink was the theme this week. And I took the eat side, which I just thought of a new one too. And
well, good.
yeah, so actually, I'm gonna stick it on here real quick. So,
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, while it's fresh in your mind, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, because I've already got the list built. I made sure I built it because it took me. It was funny because when we did the last one, it was like Thursday. You were like, "Did you send me the playlist yet?" I was like, "Oh shit, I hadn't even put it together."
Oh wow.
I
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I was like,
completely forgot.
I was thinking about it. And I was like, damn, did he send me that and I missed it or what? I just happened to think about it because I was like, wait, honestly, it's kind of one of those things where you're like thinking about it and you're like, okay, did we do a playlist? I couldn't even remember if we did one. I couldn't even remember if we did one,
Right.
which was crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I just sent it to you, so don't look at it yet because you don't know what's
look at
going
it.
on. Yeah, don't look at it yet.
I don't. I won't. So it comes through Instagram, and I'm not on there much anyway. So
Yeah.
why is that? Oh, that's the wrong thing. That's why. I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Songs. That's what I'm looking for. Where? Oh, it's not going to be on here. Are you serious? Oh God, stupid ass shit. Maybe it's on the top of the list here. So I know the songs. I just don't know which album it's on. So you would probably know. I probably just let you tell me. I think it's this one. God, I hate that I'm doing this right now, but I just happened to think about it when I was doing. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see. I bet it's on this one because it's one of their.
I'm completely in the dark. I don't know what song you're talking about. So.
Well,
And I don't want to know.
I'm trying to keep it
Yeah.
a surprise.
Yeah,
until
keep it
we
as
get there,
keep it a surprise.
But
'Cause
I don't know if I'm going to be able to because I can't find the motherfucker. Like, really? Like, I know, and it's bad because I've heard it live. I'm like, I know they fucking sing it. I've heard it live. Oh, you're kidding me, dude. I cannot believe this. I'm going to have to put in the whole damn thing, I guess.
Yeah, probably. I hate when it comes to when you have to resort to doing like a full.
There it is. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, dude. I had to put it all in. I don't think we want to hear it right now, but I don't know if you heard any of that or not anyway, but
Is that what popped up while I was doing the?
it started playing. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to.
There
I
we
mean,
go.
I
Now,
mean, I heard
now,
it, but
yeah.
I
Now,
heard it, but I couldn't make out what song it was because you turned it down so quick. It's like, oh, okay, so
all right, cool. So now I'm good. So I got the eat part of eat and drink, the theme of the week this week. Starting out with Alice Cooper, Feed My Frankenstein from
oh yeah,
He's Stupid, 1991. Then I went with Nita Strauss with Alyssa White Glues, The Wolfie Feed from The Call of the Void, 2023. Then with Crocus Eat the Rich from Headhunter, 1983.
nice.
Fox Lake, Dog Eat Dog from Fear and Loathing, 2023. Separations, Dream Eater from the Dream Eater album, 2015. Malice Dextra, Feed the Beast from Malice Dextra 3, Part 2, from 2024. They got some wild shit, man, when they do their albums. I'm just like,
Yeah,
they got Part 3, the third, Part 2, or the third part. It's like naming your kid the fifth,
yeah,
or some shit. Then I went with Demos' Dawn, Feeding the Decline from Anthem of the
nice.
Lost, 2023.
Oh, they
Then
just had. Oh, they had just had a single come out too.
today or this week.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh wow,
yep.
cool! I know they had one a while
complete-
back. So
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yep,
oh nice, I had to check that one out too.
yep. They came out with a new single also.
Then I went with Venom Inc. Don't Feed Me Your Lies from There's Only Black, 2022. Eyes of the Living, Feeding the Wolves from Fear Comes Knocking, 2022. Bonded by Blood, Feed the Beast from Feed the Beast, 2008. Parkway Drive, Bottom Feeder from Ire, 2015. Sons of the Texas, Feed the Need from Forged by Fortitude in 2017. Miara, Hungering Inside, which, you better eat then. You better eat then.
That's right. Yeah, you better.
Hungering Inside, 2023. Then with Lost Society, Terror Hungry from Terror Hungry, 2014. Then yes, I know I'm gonna get heat for this. I don't give a shit. Nickelback, Feed the Machine from Feed the Machine,
Hey,
2017.
I like that song.
It's
I
actually
do.
probably
I
one of
like
their
that.
heavier ones.
It is.
Disturbed, Feeding the Fire from Divisive, 2023. Ice Nine Kills, Meet and Greet from that was actually a single from 2023.
Nice.
And the meat is MEAT. That's why
I
it's
get
on
it.
the
Yeah,
Eat and
yeah,
Drink.
yeah.
That's why it's on the Eat and Drink, just so
Uh-huh.
people know. Breaking Benjamin, Feed the Wolf from Ember, 2018. Shine Down, Devour from The Sound of Madness, 2008. Atreyu Glass Eater from The End Is Not the End, 2026. And the reason I put that on there was because that album just came out and I just was listening to it and I said, oh, look, there's an Eater song on here. Like, cool. So I was like, hell, I had to include it.
Yep.
And then last but not least, the one I was just trying to figure out, Steel Panther, Eating Ain't Cheating from
Oh, there you go.
from Feel the Steel, 2009. It was like, man, it's like
Hell yeah, dude.
it's like one of their most popular songs that wasn't popping up. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. God, Steel Panther. Steel Panther. They're fun to watch, man.
Yeah,
It was
they are.
So fun to watch.
Not for their ticket prices nowadays. But
That's the thing. Is like the last couple times they were here, I would have liked to have gone, but yeah, they kind of. It's like
they're pricing their
Yeah.
fan base out.
they are. You gotta.
That's
you
kinda
gotta
like-
be careful with that shit, man.
So I just had this conversation with a local promoter wrestling wise, and they were asking like $15 and $20 for ticket prices. I said, dude, you do realize most of the people that come and see you probably on food stamps. Like they're not going to be able to afford $20 a person a pop to come in and watch your damn show, dude. Like
Yeah.
you're pricing out your main people that would come and watch you. You
Yeah.
know? Most of those people have $50 set aside to go to those shows, and it gets two people in for 10 apiece. Then they got $30 to eat and drink. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So, when you price them out like that, they don't have money to eat and drink there, so they won't go. It's kind of like, and then they would bitching. First off, you don't ever run a independent show on WrestleMania weekend. That's the first mistake they made.
That's not too
the
smart.
second mistake was the pricing, and then they said they only had like maybe 100 people show up, which is
Yeah.
not good around here. That's usually, especially at the Armory, where you're usually packing that place, but
Yeah.
especially if you're only running once every month or every other month or so.
Yeah.
But whatever. Hopefully they learned their lesson.
Yeah, well,
it's, I think a lot of bands are. I don't know if the bands actually set the prices or if it's the actual venues. I'm not real sure who sets the prices on tickets, but you would think it would be the bands because they're probably having to pay to use the venue. So You know, I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
We may have to look into that
Yeah,
to
we need
see
some.
to see
We need
what's what.
some.
That
We
way
need
we're
somebody. We need somebody to come on the show and do an interview that knows all that stuff. So
that would be cool.
that would be cool.
That
Yeah.
would be
So,
cool, actually. That way we could, just have the facts in front of us. That way we know who to be
right.
pissed at when we can't afford tickets.
Exactly. Yeah. Like who did we write this letter to?
Exactly. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but
Dang.
that was my contribution. So
All right. That's a pretty good list to start off with. I like that. And then I had the other half. I had the drink part, of course, leading off with "We Drink Your Blood" by Powerwolf off of Blood of the Saints from 2011. Then a song that I have had fun singing at many a concert here lately, "Nectar of the Gods" from our buddies Valkyrie's Fire off their
hmm.
Ascension EP from 2024. Then I got a three for here on this one. I went "Drink,
Oh,
Drank, Drunk" by Hell Yeah off Band of Brothers from 2012. I was gonna go with "Alcohol and Ass," but I was like, that one's too easy. So, and
yeah.
we could always add it, but
But yeah.
so I went with "Drink, Drank, Drunk," which for my money is actually a better song. I actually enjoy that one better
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's heavier than "Alcohol and Ass." But off of Band of Brothers from 2012. Then I went with "Drink" by Ailstorm off "Sunset on the Golden Age" from 2014. Then I had "Have a Drink on Me" by AC/DC off "Back in Black" from 1980. Then we had "You Give Me a Reason to Drink" by Devil Driver off "Dealing with Demons" Volume 1 from 2020. Then "We Still Drink the Old Ways" by Tankard off "The Beauty and the Beer." So technically I had a two for there, 2006. You're not going to, you won't be able to have a theme of the week about drinking without Ailstorm and Tankard. You just kind
Right.
of,
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
kind of, you just
That's a
kind of
that's a gimme.
yeah, you kind of can. And then you have to include this next band too, I think. "Beer Pressure" by Municipal Waste off "The Art of Partying" for 2007. Then "Suicide Solution" by Ozzy Osbourne off "The Blizzard of Oz" from 1980. Then I had "Blood, Sweat, and Beer" from our friends in Methane off "The Devil's Own" from 2017.
Nice.
Then I had "Stoned and Drunk" by Black Label Society off "The Blessed Hell Ride" from 2003. Then a band I discovered while doing research for this, "You Look Like I Need a Beer" by Viking Skull off "Cursed by the
Oh
Sword"
yeah.
from
Viking Skull.
2012.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Then "Whiskey in the Jar" by Metallica off Garage Inc. from 1998. Then "Downhill Drunk" by that band TYR.
Oh
I
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
still have
Yeah.
no idea how to pronounce. So
Well, I
I
think
think
it
it,
would be tire.
I think it might be Tyre. I don't know.
Because they got like two dots over the Y, don't they?
Well, it's funny because sometimes I'll see an accent, sometimes I'll see an umlaut, so I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, it's off their album Hell from
Oh yeah, it's
2019.
got.
Little accent mark, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then lastly, "Wine and Piss" by Lamb of God off of Seven Sturm und Drang from 2015. So that is my contribution to Eat and Drink. Like I say, you've got the playlist in your inbox now. So
Oh, it's actually pronounced tier. Okay.
tier, okay, all right, cool.
As in, or it's like a tear in teardrop, but spelled TIER.
Oh, then tier as in levels of the
Yeah.
second tier, third tier.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Which makes sense when you think about it now, I guess. But
Okay. Then I kind of was saying it right all along. Okay.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Even though I
I
would
was,
second guess myself all the time, but
I was like, well, let's just look it up to find out for sure. So
I mean, there you go. Nothing to it but to do it.
that's right. That's
Just to
right.
find out. So yeah, that was kind of a fun list to do, and I've actually thought of a couple that I was going to add to your part if you didn't have them. So that's kind of cool. So
Poontang Boomerang.
well, no, but that's actually not a bad one. It's not a bad one.
Oh my god. Uh,
But yeah, no.
or we could do Wang Dang Sweet Poontang by Ted Nugent.
It's true. Yeah, leave it to Uncle Ted. So
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Motor
I
City
think that
Madman.
I think that was the original Taste Great Less Filling.
Before Miller Lite
Before Miller Lite got a
before
hold
Miller
of
Lite
it.
got a hold of it. Yep.
Yeah.
Jesus, I remember those Taste Great Less Filling commercials from Miller Lite from back in the day. Jesus,
Well,
man.
we were talking about something the other day about old commercials, and for some reason, the bitter beer face commercials came to my mind when we were talking about. I was like, oh yeah, I remember those.
Yeah.
It was like
It
Keystone.
was Keystone, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah,
Keystone beer, yeah.
yeah. Which was
It was.
I don't know
Yeah.
what got me thinking about that the other day. We were talking about commercials. I said, hey, I said y'all probably too young to remember, but there was a beer commercial where because somebody made a face and it looked just like it at
Oh, like
work.
the.
Yeah, so he had a bitter beer face, and they said, and one of the young people were like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
I forget I'm working with a bunch of damn 20-year-olds. So,
You just dated yourself.
yeah, right.
Yep.
You know,
But I remember those commercials, yeah.
damn near carbon dated myself.
Yep.
All right, that will get us into our album reviews of the week this week. This week I chose a band called Whirlwind, and the album was called 1640, which I thought was interesting because their first album. Hold on, let me see what the first album was a date too, and I think they coincided with like some kind of wars that went on or something. I think.
Oh, cool.
Nope, not that one. Let me do it this way and just put the album in. So there we go. So their first record was 1714. So which was I don't know what. So one of them was a Spanish war, and I can't remember if it was this one or that one. But I was reading about
Okay.
it. I was kind of curious about they used dates on both their albums, and I said, well, there's got to be some kind of significance to it. So
Yeah.
of course, it was. It was more of a war. Like I said, they're from Spain, so it kind of makes sense for them to have this with the Spanish
I get
Armada
it.
or something in it. So, yeah. So pretty
Local
cool.
history, I like it.
Yeah, yeah. Which is
Yeah, I
it's
like
cool.
that.
And yeah. So they were formed in 2012, and like I said, they hail from Barcelona, Catalonia, Spain. Which I don't know how they do that. I guess like is Catalonia like a
Well,
city within Barcelona or something or
it might be like Barcelona's the city, and
Providence?
Catalonia might be some sort of like county or
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
some sort of specific region in the
Well, it,
country. So,
a lot of places do that, especially like Germans and
yeah,
Swedish and all them. I'm just like, wow,
yeah,
really? It's kind of weird.
yeah. They do like,
Break it down
yeah, they,
to the point. Man.
yeah, yeah. So
That'd
they
be
kind
like
of
us
let you know
saying,
what.
be like kind of us saying like Columbia, Murray, Spain, or Tennessee or something.
Yes, I think that's the correlation. I do
Okay,
believe. Yeah.
yeah, interesting. Yeah, so we're just full of learning facts today. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, so their current members are, and I'm probably going to kill this, but I don't know Spanish. What do you think? H's from Spain. I don't know if that's
Well,
Spanish. If that
well,
Spanish does the same thing or not. So
well. The funny thing is the J's are pronounced like H's. The H's in Spanish a lot of time are silent.
yeah, exactly. So I got Horty Julio. I guess is why I'm going to go with it then because it was two J's. You know. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
On drums, and then Artur Julio on guitars, lead guitars, Hector Lorado on vocals, Mark Wild, which I'm going to guess is not Spanish, guitarist, rhythm guitarist. He joined in 2012, which was I think that was when they were formed, so that's kind of weird. Maybe he was just a late addition or something. Well, not the original, I guess. Maybe.
Okay.
Philip Graves on bass. He joined in 2022. So those two names are definitely doesn't sound Spanish,
Right.
but if you got a Spanish band and you don't have a Hector in it, are you doing anything right? That's
Yeah.
yeah. There's a Hector everywhere.
Yeah.
But
That is true.
yeah. Anyway, this is the band's second full length release. Like I said, that first one was 1714. This one's 1640. 9 tracks, 46 minutes, 21 seconds in length. To begin with, there was a minute 24 intro that blended perfectly into the first full track, which they did an amazing job with that. I know we talk about that a lot on this show, but man, that was like you almost couldn't even distinctively tell. I mean, it was.
That's always good.
Yeah, it was just like it was like a riff difference, and I was like, wow, that was really well done. Like I said, I give a lot of shit about that, as most people know if they watched the show, but that was really well done, and kudos, man, that was it was amazing. The band does lean heavy into like the traditional metal sound. They've been compared to Iron Maiden or Judas Priest and early Halloween, which I think for me, I would probably lean more toward the Halloween side from what I've listened to.
A
I can
little
tell
bit more,
I could tell they have some influence from Maiden and Priest maybe, but yeah, Halloween's
a, li-
definitely got a lot.
a little more power metal.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's a little more. Their traditional power speed is what they're listed as, so it's
Oh,
kind
okay,
of
well there you go. All right.
yeah. So it kind of works, I guess. Um, and Hector, which is the vocalist, he's got some amazing range, so he can hit those high notes and sounds really good when he's doing the low bar stuff too. So I mean he's definitely got a pretty good repertoire there of vocal range. The guitar solos were excellent, man. Like I said, I know you're a guitar solo guy, so you would probably love just. I mean, you probably just listen to solos and be impressed, obviously.
Thank you.
Which I think that's like when we talked about this, it's like a lot of these bands that we're finding, man, they have some really underrated guitarists, man. They really
Yeah.
do. Like it blows my mind of how good some of these guys are.
Yep.
And I like how they use the old school pauses between notes too. Like mo- I guess that mostly comes with. Hold on, just a second. Oh, I guess I was talking about the drumming there and didn't include that. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I was actually talking about the drumming. The drumming was really well done, and that was where I was talking about the old school pauses, kind of like you know what I'm saying?
Ah,
Like,
gotcha. I gotcha.
yeah, do yeah. So they were doing that kind of. It almost reminded me a little bit of maybe a marching into war type drums. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you know. But I mean, of course, it didn't sound like that. But I'm just saying that's kind of you get the basis of what I'm talking about with the little pauses in between the drumming there. Man, they did that so well, almost like nothing but a good time. You remember how they used to do at the end of that song,
Yeah.
kind of like the
Oh yeah.
climax
Yeah.
of it. It's like, shoom, shoom,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
then
The drum fill right before that last chorus. Absolutely.
yeah, yeah, man, they did that so well in this record, man. It was really good. It was almost anthemic, where
Yep.
it's almost like stole the whole song when you heard it. You're just like, oh man, this is crazy. Um, I also like the inclusion of backing vocals on some of the tracks. I know we don't get a lot of that anymore with
Yeah.
a lot of the albums and stuff. So for them to go do old school, kind of that's where they kind of got me with some Judas Priest stuff where you get some backing vocals and stuff like that involved. And well, I mean, Halloween's probably perfect for that too, since
Yeah.
they've had multiple singers over the years. So
Uh-huh.
I don't think they've ever had an album where there was just one singer on it. So if so, I don't remember it. So
And now they have all
I
three back
apologize.
full. And now they have
Yeah,
all three back full of time.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy. And it does close with a bang with a 13-minute track, 13
Whoa.
minute 6 second track called "Marching to Victory," which is kind of a you know a climax, I guess. If you're at war and then you march to victory, so
There you go. I
it's,
mean,
and overall, man, the production of this record was really impressive. I think so. And maybe a reach out to here just to kind of get some ideas of how they put all this together because it was really impressive to me. So
well, it'd be
I'm
cool to
gonna
hear them. It'd be cool to hear them tell the actual story
exactly
behind the, because if they
behind each
know
track. I mean, each track
behind
had
each
their
track and behind the actual well what happened in 1714, what happened in
right.
1640. So yeah,
Well, I
the
mean, the intro track was called 1640, so it was kind
yeah,
of like a musical into. So it's almost like the march into war, and then the 13-minute exit was the march to victory.
yeah,
So it was kind of kind of
yeah, the real world inspiration. Yeah,
so they told the whole story pretty much. You
yeah,
just got to fill in the blanks, I guess.
right.
But these are the tracks just to give you an idea. It's like 1640, then Days of Doom, Rage of the Conqueror, Winds of Ash and Dust. You this one was kind of in their native language, I think. Let's say Majesty, corpus desang is what it says in the quotes. Through fire and blood, ready to explode by the blood in our veins, and then march into victory. So you can tell there's definitely story line there in each song. So it would be pretty awesome to hear the whole thing. So
Okay.
or hear how it came about. But I'm gonna give this one four horns, man. It's
Nice.
pretty easy one there for me. So
Nice. Yeah, I'll
you got a pretty cool album cover too.
yeah,
So
I'll try to oh yeah, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, I'll try to check that out during the week. Yeah, yep, 1714. Hell, 1714 is a pretty cool album cover too.
yeah. So they did some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, they do. All right, my album review this week is from Canadian speed slash heavy metal band Power Rage. They are a quartet put together in 2024. So they haven't been around long. As this, in this incarnation anyway, they had two singles come out ahead of the album being released. So all of the music they've put together came out this year. The members of the band, Todd Pilon on bass, Lucas Derry on drums, John Ricci on guitar, and Jacques Belanger on vocals. John and Jacques were also together in Black Star and Exciter, so so they have a little bit of history with each other there. So having been in a couple of previous projects, like I say,
Not
this is their
not
this,
not too shabby of projects too. So
right, yeah, especially Exciter. The new album, 8 tracks, 34 minutes and 9 seconds. They are currently signed to High Roller Records, so it's nice that they've already gotten signed to a label.
yeah,
The funny thing is we've talked multiple occasions on the show about how bands get classified and what they're classified as. And we've also talked about how more often than not the genre classification don't come from the bands themselves because they don't really give a shit. They just like this is what we wrote and this is how we decided to play and it's whatever you want. But this is another one of those cases where I don't know that speed slash traditional heavy metal really fits for this band. The speed aspect I can kind of see, but they're a little bit more. I would say they're a little bit more. They've got a little bit of a death metal flavor.
I also like to say because I have like the one song on the playlist for next week or for this week.
Yeah,
The Dark Wings song is actually the one I put on there. So
that's the first track on the album.
I got you.
Yeah, that's track one. The funny thing about it is the way Dark Wings starts off, since it is the intro track, the way that Jacques kind of, the opening note is kind of just this epic kind of high pitched traditional fucking Rob Halford like just wail.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, this sounds promising if this is the way the album's starting off. For me, it was a little bit of false advertising, if I'm being completely honest, but just the way. Because now, don't
yeah.
get me wrong, Jacques does do plenty of wailing on the album. He does plenty of it, and he does a good job of it. He actually has an interesting range because he can hit those high notes and he can wail and scream, but he can really drop down and kind of do some aggressive growling and gutturals. So he's got an interesting range where he can, for, as far as his top end and bottom end being very, very wide. Unfortunately, not his vocal style, but lyrically, I don't know why, but man, did they really lean into the repetition. I don't understand why. Because I mean, every song you listen to by every band, I mean, they'll repeat the choruses are usually similar. A lot of times, the name of the song is in there multiple times. But man, this band, for whatever reason, they didn't really focus too much on writing extensive lyrics. But man, did they really lean heavily on picking either the name of the track or one line of a lyric that they did write and just beat it to death with repetition. I don't understand why they did that because I mean it was really off-putting in some songs It's like, wrap this shit up. It's like I've already heard this line, or I've already heard the name of the song way too many times. Let's wrap it up. And the funny thing is I mean, it's only a 34-minute album anyway, so it wasn't a real very long listen. So some of these songs, it was like, all right, now you're just making the song longer for the sake of length, and it's not even a very long song anyway. So the repetition was a little off-putting. I don't know why they lean so heavily on repeating a phrase or the song title. But I mean, musically, the musical composition was awesome. I mean, the drumming was spectacular, and I wouldn't say that it was a very riff heavy album. I mean, obviously there's guitar riffs in there, but I mean, I wouldn't say that the guitar riffs were the overriding focus as far as the guitar work goes. I mean, the solos were well done, but as far as any riffs that stood out to me, as far as anything that's gonna like stick in your head, there weren't any real guitar riffs that I think were be like, I don't know, like something like long lasting, as far as oh man, that riff in this track and that riff in that track. They're put together well, but I wouldn't say anything that are gonna become like iconic or anything like that to any certain extent. But you know, it was mixed well. Like when I did the review last week, the mix was very well done. All three of the musical instruments were there where they needed to be. The bass was present. The drums were well done. And then the guitar work. The guitar work was well done. I enjoyed the solos more than the actual riffs. But there is only one guitar, so he had to do all the work. So I can kind of maybe understand why some of the riffs were not an afterthought, maybe, but it was like, all right, here's the guitar line. We'll really let you shine when it gets to your turn to do the solos. I can kind of understand that because there's no rhythm guitar or anything like that. So he's playing every note from start to finish on every song on one guitar. So I could maybe understand why, all right, what are we going to focus on? Are we going to focus on the riffs? We're going to focus on the solos? So I can kind of understand having to make a choice between one or the other. So, maybe that's what happened here. I don't know. But so overall, I'm going to give this one 3 horns.
Okay. I tell you what, death metal gets a lot of stuff from us, but I will say this: that you can almost guarantee that you can pick out the bass guitar in
Yeah,
most death metal songs.
that is true. That is true.
They definitely got that going for them. But
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, I don't know. I wouldn't say that they're a true death metal band, but I also don't think they have a traditional sound either. The speed metal elements are
okay.
absolutely there. They absolutely are there. Plenty of speed metal tempo, plenty. So I just don't know that I would classify them as just traditional heavy metal. I would if you want to if whoever did that wants to keep them there, I would throw another Slash in there and maybe throw death metal in there, because with the way that Jacques does sing, that's a little bit more of a death metal element, his growls and gutturals. So but he absolutely does, he does have terrific top end range. He does go a little overboard with the vibrato for me. That's something that I don't really care for.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can hit the note. We know you can hit it. You don't have to church it up. You don't have to church it up with vibrato every time. I mean, you need to back off on that a little bit. Let the fact that you can hit the note and hold it, let that be the focus, the power that you can put behind it. I don't need that vibrato on every time you hit a note and hold it. I don't need it every time. So to me, that can be kind of it's a detractor. It can be for
Right.
me. So.
All right, what do we got to look forward to next week? We're actually going to be May 1st when we
I
do
was
this.
just about to say, already into May. All right.
Crazy.
Yep. It's not the longest list, but from our friends over at Heavy Music HQ, leading off with 16 with Forgeries Volume 1, 1972 to 1984, 35 tapes with Veil on Life, Aeonic with The Roamer of Heaven and Hell, American Football with a self-titled album, Anti-Human Industries with Accelerated Death Impulse, Anti-Rope with Bring Me to Zero, Ashen Horde with The Harvest, Atronos with Graham, Beyond the Veil with Oblivion, Black Silas with Votive Fire, Blossom Cult with Home, Brule with Beltan, Cage Fight with Exuvia, Kandarian with Trepanacion, Choke Me with a Violent Phenomenon, the Claypool Lennon Delirium with the Great Parrot Ox and the Golden Egg of Empathy, Cognizance with In Light, No Shape, Divenial Verdict with Old Blood, Fresh Wounds, Detach the Islands with Concrete Jungle, that's an EP, Dodgy with Hello Beautiful, Evil with Enter the Woodland Realm, Feardsman with The Free Man, Gottlieb with The Far Fallen Fruit. Try saying that 3 times fast. Jesus. The Great Observer with Loss of Transcendence, Grand with The Temple, Hey Duke with I'm Not Even Gonna Try because I don't know what characters those even are. Haste. It looks like Wingdings for fuck's sake. Yeah.
Wingdings.
Haste the Day with Dissenter. We have Hrab with Brana Chaladu, Infected Death with Invicta, that's an EP. In Malice's Wake with The Profound Darkness, King Smash with The Heart Remains at Home, Kissing Chaos with To Your Limit, Lair of the Minotaur with I Hail I, Malcabra with BAMN, Obeyer with Palor, that's an EP. October Changes with Quantum, Oldowan Gash with A Thousand Dreams of War, Resilia with By a Thread, Richie Newton with Higher Power, Robot God with Onto the Afterlife, Sal with a self-titled EP, Savage Master and Mystic Storm with The Power, A Wandering Time, that's a split EP, probably like 2 or 3 songs for each band. Sconfitta with Essere Nessuno, Seven Dust with One, so that'll be definitely be worth listening to.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Spell with Wretched Heart, Stalemate of Wills with Existence Denied, Strega with Mortis Morte, that's an EP. Symphata with Fallen Angel, Synthray with Thus Burns the House of the Sun, that's an EP. UFO with The Wild, the Willing, and the Innocent, obviously that's a re-release. Ultra Bomb with The Bridges That We Burn, Uncle Hauk with Lose Your Illusions, version 1? No, Van Sind with Havenin, various artists with Promethean Vanguard, Victims with Pain Processing 2, that's an EP. Venom with Into Oblivion, could be interesting.
Nice.
And Wandar with Tife Erde. So not the longest list, but still plenty to choose from. So we'll see what we come up with.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's a couple on there. That cage fight I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
too. So.
Yep. So yeah.
So I'll still look forward to.
Yep. So that'd be a good race.
You said that American football, and I was like, man, I wonder what some of their albums have been like, and they kind of disappoint me.
Really?
Yeah, kind of. Is that what it was?
American football.
Yeah. Oh, there's an ad in between. Okay, there it is. Yeah. But it's called, it's like American football and then LP4 and the thing, which they kind of do that a lot with LP1, 2. They're naming their LPs as part of their titles, which is funny.
Oh, okay.
But for them not to have albums like Blue 24 or
Omaha!
Omaha. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they got plenty of stuff to
You
choose from.
got to lean into that shit.
You gotta be creative with that shit, man.
Naked bootleg.
Right, yeah.
Backside blitz. Bring the house.
Hail Mary. I mean,
Pass interference. Unnecessary roughness.
Flag on the play. And
Personal foul.
we got plenty to choose from besides just calling
Up the
it
gut.
LP 1, 2, and 3. Up the gut, yeah. Deflate the ball.
Jesus Christ.
We just have playoffs.
We are who they thought we were.
That's right. No. It's too bad I'm not in that band because I'd have too much fun with that.
Yeah, I mean, hell, the track names are just, I mean, it's too easy. So, onside kick, muffed punt.
Crazy.
Oh, Jesus.
Cool. So before we get any further, I just want to let you guys know the radio station has been resolved. It is back up and running.
Yeah.
I do think there's some. I think he did say there was some tweaks he's going to have to do to get the name of the artist and album to come back up, but he's working on that. So, he said his main thing was to get it back running. So, he does got that part. Yeah, he was aware of it, but he had been sick, so he hadn't had a chance to work on it. And I said, "Oh man, that's cool. I was just trying trying to see what's going on. Then he said that he was working on his end, and he played it for me and everything, so it's working. But I couldn't get it to do anything on my side. But that don't. But that don't mean. Oh, actually, I did. Actually, I did finally get it to play. I think yesterday or day before. I can't. Anyway, it was the last couple of days. I finally got it to play. So
Okay.
but it was just saying like it didn't have any of the information, so I wasn't sure if it was playing or not. So,
Okay.
but he was saying, yeah, he has to work on the something got. I don't know, man. That dude's. I feel bad for that guy. He's gotten so much stuff happen to him with the hub burning that time and
Yeah,
catching
that was
fire,
bad.
and then now he's got the I don't know, something happened with the coding, and now he's got to go back and redo all that. And it's like, oh wow, dude, that's messed up.
Yeah, that does. That
So
sucks.
yeah, he's trying to do something good, and keeps running into barriers too. So, but hopefully he's got it all worked out for a little while now. So, but it is back up and running. So
That's
I've been
good.
trying to add songs on there for 2 weeks. I listen to it. So,
Yeah.
so but yeah, because I was kind of like that's the reason I posted that on the group page because I wasn't sure what was going to happen with it because the way he was talking it was going to be it may be a long term long term shutdown. So I was kind of like, oh, that's not good. But
Yeah.
so I stopped advertising because I wasn't for sure. So
Yeah, I did the same thing too when I did the Metalhead Minute this week. So
yeah,
I made
I
sure.
heard that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're back. We're back
Yeah.
up and running. So that's good. So got that other option out there for everybody. So,
Yep.
and then again, don't forget next week we are having another guest. So tune in for that. We'll start plugging that stuff on Monday. So
Yep. Looking forward to that.
so
Always look forward to a live guest. It's always fun.
yeah, there's going to be a interesting one, I believe. So
I think so. Yeah.
so it's but yeah. So anyway, like I said, you can go back and listen to the radio station again. Oh, and the Barrel interview is up on Spotify now. We'll try to get it up on Rumble. I'm not sure like what's going on with the downloads and stuff, but it took
Yeah.
me forever to download that shit. Man, it was way too long. Like, I kept getting errors when it got to the end. I'm like, what the hell is going on with this shit? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, I don't think it likes the CapCut versions for some reason. So I
I
was,
don't know.
yeah. Like I said, I think it's because they're trying to get everybody to run to that Riverside thing because they're partnered with them now or something. But I don't want to
Still, I
do.
mean,
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to control what people want to use. I mean,
yeah, that's not really. That's not cool.
so what are you working for the government now?
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
To create some sort of monopoly or something going on.
well, you
Ridiculous.
can't have those. That's why they're trying to get rid of the Ticketmaster and all that shit, make them break up and so.
I'd be okay with that.
I would too. Like I think it needs to be because I think they price gouging people for stuff.
They
It
absolutely
didn't
are.
make.
Have been forever.
Yeah, and I mean Nashville's getting bad too with stuff because like Bridgestone, I hate. I've said this before. You go in there and look for a show and it's like $80 a ticket here. Then I go to Birmingham and it's $50 a ticket. Like why is it $50 a ticket in Birmingham and $80 a ticket in Nashville? That's just
Yep.
fucking unreal. Like
Yeah.
you of course they're getting people to still come to the venue and play. So I mean until that stops happening, then you know.
Yeah. Or people stop buying tickets.
Yep. Which I think is what happens. Probably going to happen is they'll wind up trying to run the little venues out and be like, well, they can't do that, and, because we're not being able to do this or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's like, well, you got the Nashville Predators, just live with that.
Hmm.
So, and
Yep.
then of course the football stadium is going to, once that gets done, then there'll be probably more opportunities for stadium tours and stuff. Right now,
Yeah.
there's not much opportunity for it, but.
Right.
I don't know if they can. I guess they can still use the old one. I mean,
They
of course,
have been. They have been.
The Titans are going to have to for another year. So,
Yep.
which WrestleMania was supposed to be there next year.
Well, there's it's still going to be there, and they've already said that the 2030 Super Bowl is going to be there. So
Well, yeah, I knew the Super Bowl was
yeah,
going to be there at
so
some point. So.
so they've penciled in Nashville for the Super Bowl in 2030, and WrestleMania will probably be there in 28. I'm guessing it'd
I
probably be
would think so.
28. Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be relatively soon. I think. So.
yeah, I think it'll be what 44. So WrestleMania 44. Yeah,
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
yeah,
So to think about it though, if we're living here, if I had to pay 150, $200 a ticket, I won't be too mad about that because I'm not going to stay in a hotel or nothing. So, but two nights, that would have to be for like 2 nights. I wouldn't pay more than you know three 350 for 2 nights. I'm not doing that. But
yeah.
I
That's
just watch it on TV and see. I just watch it on TV and see more. Because I mean, if you're sitting way up there, man, you're,
you
you're
don't
not going to
see
see shit no
you
way.
don't see it. That's why
You know,
that's why I
you're
didn't
watching.
go.
You're watching a screen anyway. Just watch it at home. It's like,
Yeah, that's why I didn't go to the Metallica and Pantera concert because
right.
the only damn tickets I could afford, I would have had to watch the performance on the screens in the stadium. It's like, what the fuck's the
Yeah.
point? You know,
Right. Exactly.
other than saying that I was there. I mean, it's
Rather just spend small money on smaller venue shows and
yeah,
actually see what I want to see.
exactly. And probably have it in. I mean, depending on the venue, actually having a chance to at least run into one of the members after the show, like when like because we've become friends with a lot of the bands we've seen down in Manchester,
Yeah.
and when we've gone to the last time we went to Brooklyn Bowl when KK's Priest and Accept were there, we got a chance to see Martin just hanging out in the crowd after
Yeah.
the shows. I mean, smaller venues. I mean, like you said, you have a chance to get closer to the bands, and then there's a better than 50-50 shot you'll actually get to at least rub elbows with them at some point. So
Yeah. Like
these.
in Chattanooga, you can see Mark Oswego.
Shut up.
Chris, like, we got to bring that shit up.
Never gonna fucking yeah. I'm never gonna live that down.
Like, damn. I was
Of course,
looking for you too. I'm like, where the
yeah.
fuck did Chris go?
Of course, the funny thing is now we have to make sure that we get to a Death Angel show and talk to Mark just so we can tell Mark
Tell
that
the
story.
story. Yeah, I come out of the bathroom and dude's like, "Hey, Mark Oswego's over at the bar." I'm like, "Oh no shit!" And I was like, "Where's Chris?" And
I was outside.
this motherfucker that went outside or something. I couldn't find. Like, I waited for a minute. And I said, "Well, hell, I'm gonna go catch him before he fucking leaves."
Yeah,
So
no, I
we walked.
totally underend. You have to. You got to take advantage of the
We walked.
opportunity.
It was so crazy because, like I said, I don't know if I may have told this before, but it was like I was wearing an older Death Angel shirt, which
Yeah.
I'm wearing a newer one. This is the one I got at that show, but I was wearing an older one, and they he actually seen it. It was the Humanicide album cover, and it was actually when they were headlining. They were doing a headlining tour, and he said he seen it. He was talking to somebody, and he stopped what he was doing and said, "Dude, dig it." He said, "I love that shirt." He said, "Where'd you get that at?" And I had to tell him the story about how we were in Dallas at the time, and they were playing at the Trees, and we were just like, "Oh, we're just looking for shows," and seeing you guys were playing at the Trees, so we were like, "Hey, yeah, we'll just go see you guys there." So it was kind of funny that he stopped what he was talking to just to see just because I had that shirt on. He's like, "Hey, you want to take a selfie?" He actually said that. "Hey, you want to take some selfies?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!" Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it was like so out of character that what I
yeah,
was expecting
yeah,
from. So yeah, really really laid back, cool
yeah.
dude, man.
And,
But
well,
yeah,
that's the
we're
funny
definitely
thing is,
we're definitely
mo-
gonna have to make it happen so you
yeah,
can meet
yeah,
him. So
yeah. Well, the funny thing is like, like I say, most of us are just down to earth, and
yeah, he just wanted to get a drink before he went to called it a night or whatever, a little nightcap, and you
yeah,
know and just happened to be at the bar and talking to people and mingling with the fans, as you'd say. So it's cool that they're not their head's not too big to you know
yeah.
for that kind of stuff. So,
Hell yeah,
which Death Angel is probably one of the more underrated thrash bands I think from that area.
I think so.
They didn't get the love they deserved. I don't think so.
Yeah,
Of course, there were so many from that era, so that's probably didn't help them much.
yeah.
But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy the show. We're gonna wrap this one up. like I said, you can catch the radio station now 24/7. It's back up at thefrontrow.net/radio with a capital R.
Yep.
Don't forget that part. And
Don't forget the capital R. Yep.
yeah, follow us on our socials.
On Facebook, the Facebook group, the Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, Spotify, all of our playlists are there. Email us at metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com. Then you can follow us on Twitch, Rumble, Instagram, TikTok, and X.
Cool. Yeah. And hopefully I'll be downloading some more of the earlier.
Some more of the earlier interview. There you go. I
Yeah.
tried to finish your sentence.
So, but yeah, the earlier interviews there, so we'll try to get some more of those uploaded since I kind of think I got it figured out now. So we'll see. But I mean, it takes a long time anyway. But when I first did it, it said like 1,300 hours or something. I'm like, what the
Whoa.
fuck? Yeah, I was like, dude, I just canceled it. So I'm not sitting. Like a lot of times, like last night worked out good because I was doing stuff for the show and I started downloading it. So by the time I was done, it was done. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. This is what's going to have to happen from now on, I guess. So kind of figure out a time frame that works, I guess. And the thing is, my computer goes to sleep after, and I haven't figured out how to set it to stay open. If I could figure out how to get it to stay open, it would
Yeah.
probably download it faster. But
Yeah, that might help.
when it closes and opens back up, it has to try to revert back to where it ended up. So
Yeah.
anyway, hopefully we will see you guys back here next week for the interview. Like I said, follow us on our socials, mainly on Facebook, where we'll be posting the teasers for the show next Saturday. So, and then if anything else comes up in the meantime, follow us on our socials for that as well.
That's
So
right.
so we usually make those announcements on there. So hopefully we'll get back into a little rhythm here with some more guests for you guys. So,
Hell yeah.
so I think it's been kind of a slow, but I think July is usually when it picks up for some
It
reason.
seems
For some
to.
reason, I think it's like around in that area when it kind of picks up. So.
Yeah, it seems to.
But anyway, hopefully we'll see you guys back here next week. In the meantime, keep those